Live from Alumni Field, it is the Big Ten Tournament quarterfinals here for NCAA softball, where it will feature two familiar foes, the 7th seed, the Michigan State Spartans, and they will take on their in-state rival, the second-ranked Wolverines of Michigan. Hello, everybody. My name is Kevin Klein. Alongside with me is Morris Fabry, and we are ready for some Big Ten softball action. Michigan State beat Indiana yesterday. They were the 10 seed to earn a spot in the quarterfinals, but today might be a lot different. They're facing Megan Betza in the circle, who has been very dominant all year, highlighted by leading the nation in strikeouts with 370, third in the nation with 12.5 strikeouts per 7 innings. This will be a different feel for the Spartans today.
Absolutely. Michigan State won yesterday in a topsy-turvy back-and-forth affair. It was not decided until a 6th-inning double by Jordan Davis coming off the bench and pinch hitting put Michigan State in the lead. MSU, a team that will be somewhat comfortable here in Alumni Field, given that they played both halves of the home and home here. And now we will pause momentarily for the national anthem.
Great rendition of the national anthem there. Morris, you touched on Megan Betza a little bit. On the other side, for the Spartans, it's going to be Christina Zalewski, who got roughed up a little bit yesterday. 2 innings, 4 earned runs. She'll be back in the circle today. Any concern about her getting roughed up a little bit against Indiana, coming in against a better Michigan lineup?
Well, that's not the note that you want to come in on. Zalewski, Saline, Michigan native, will be actually pitching to an old teammate of hers, Katie Alexander, in the 8th spot for the Wolverines. So, again, there's some familiarity between these two teams, but the Michigan team that Michigan State faced their first 2 games is not the same one as the one we've seen these past 9 games. Michigan has outscored their opponents 88-6 over that stretch. They're coming in as hot as they've been all season, and that's something Carol Hutchins stressed in her midweek press conference, that at the end of the year, it's not about being the best team over the course of the season. It's about playing your best ball right here, right now, and that's what Michigan's doing, and that's what Zalewski will have to face off against.
Michigan, a very hot lineup. In addition, Michigan State has a very good lineup themselves. Started with Leah Forster at the top, but you look at Caitlin Evelyn in that 4 spot, Ebony Eccles in the 5 spot. They are very potent top to bottom.
Yeah, deep throughout, plenty of high averages. Eccles kind of functions as a middle-of-the-order reset, presents a lot of speed, and Leah Forster, you can't say enough about her. What she offers on the offensive end, hitting about 400 with power. On the defensive end, probably the best center fielder defensively in the Big Ten, has already made her own highlight reel here at Alumni Field in the 2 games they've played here. So, yeah, certainly some barriers to Megan Betza, who will probably strive to be perfect, as is the goal for her.
Leah Forster, first team All Big Ten, as well as making the All Big Ten defensive team. Michigan State, the designated away team today, as they are the lower seed. Michigan will be in the third base dugout. Michigan State in the first base dugout. The lineup for the Spartans is Leah Forster in center field leading off. Mackenzie Long will follow her at shortstop. The designated player today is Kelsey Carrasco in the 3 spot. Batting cleanup, Caitlin Evelyn at the hot corner. In left field, Ebony Eccles batting 5th. Batting 6th, Sarah Gutnick at first base. In right field is Lexi White batting 7th. The catcher, Lindsey Besson batting 8th. And rounding out the lineup, the second baseman, Melanie Bouquet. We are just about ready for the first pitch here at Alumni Field. Beautiful day for softball. A few clouds in the sky. Other than that, it is sunny and it is warm. The Spartans in their green uniforms with white shoulders and white trim. Michigan, blue pants, blue socks, white tops. Megan Betza is dusting off the rubber, and we are just about ready to get underway here. Morris, you mentioned these two teams have faced twice at Wilpon Complex, both times going in favor of the Wolverines, but they were pretty tight games. Michigan State played Megan Betza well. They attacked her efficiently, and that's what made those games closer than a lot would expect.
Yeah, they're a young team, they're a talented team, and they're gaining experience as they go on. They've had a real solid year, and they don't want it to end here today.
Leah Forster digs into the left-handed batter's box. Betza winds, delivers the ball low. We are underway at Alumni Field. First pitch time, 4:32 p.m. A 67-degree day here in Ann Arbor. Forster on the year, 395, 14 home runs, 43 RBI. She lifts this one into foul territory. Montemurano will give chase, but it'll fall harmlessly in foul territory, 1-1 on the junior Forster.
The sun is beaming here at Alumni Field, and that actually presented some issues for the defense in right field yesterday. Michigan State took advantage of a few miscues by Indiana in the late innings, and it was no small part in their eventual victory.
That's back to work. That one is outside, 2-1. Defensively for the Wolverines, Peters in left, Christner in center with a Falk in right, left, right. In the infield is Montemurano, Abby Ramirez, Faith Canfield, Tara Blanco, and Katie Alexander will be putting fingers down for Megan Betza today as she looks for her 24th win on the year. Comes into this one 23-7. Swing and a miss there from Forster. A good changeup, the first one we've seen all day from Megan Betza.
Yeah, Betza can utilize both the drop ball and the changeup effectively, as I learned from Nikki Nemitz this midweek practice. And in that one, she really pulled the string, dropped the speed. She's got so many weapons to utilize.
Here's the 2-2 from Betza, and it's high. That'll run the count full on Forster.
The wind has been inconsistent today, but currently it is blowing pretty hard and straight in from center field.
Defense plays Forster straight up here. Payoff pitch from Betza. Ground ball, foul. It went off her left foot.
It's a sellout crowd here at Alumni, a block of green and white in front of us, and the rest of the park decked out in maize and blue. We've got the pet band here today. It's got a tournament feel to it, Kev.
The fans have filled the stadium. It's been a great tournament so far. 4 games yesterday, 2 games already today. Michigan playing in Game 7 of the tournament. Another payoff pitch, and it's fouled back to the screen. The count will remain 3-2 on Forster.
Your umpires today behind home plate is Cody Little down the first baseline, Bobby DeMeo, and at third base is Leah Bowen. Forster really making Betza work to start this game off.
Another payoff pitch. It's low, and it gets past Alexander. Forster will reach a leadoff walk here for the Spartans, and that'll bring on Mackenzie Long. The last time these two teams faced, it was April the 18th, and Megan Betza went 7 innings, only gave up 1 earned run, struck out 14, and really got ahead of hitters early and often, and that's what led to her success as the Wolverines defeated the Spartans 3-1. Mackenzie Long will show bunt, pull it back. It's 1-0.
Betza is dominant when she gets in a rhythm, but sometimes other teams can get to her early when she's sort of struggling to find her groove out there in the circle.
Betza winds, delivers the 1-0. That one into center field. Christner ranging over. She'll make the grab. And there's one away. Betza recovers nicely there as Long is retired. That'll bring up Kelsey Carrasco. And just as a freshman, Carrasco, the designated player today, 340, 9 home runs, 35 RBIs, and she has really been a staple in the middle of that lineup and has really deepened it in terms of its competency. Swings at the first pitch here. That one will drop foul. Right side, Blanco gave chase.
Landed in a similar spot, albeit with less air than the play that ended the Illinois-Penn State game before us. The Illinois second baseman, not sure of her name, but she made a fantastic sliding catch right in front of us down the first base line.
We have really seen some good softball. You think of Sarah Gronewagen, what she was able to do against Northwestern today, and no hitter. The 0-1 to Carrasco, and she swings right through it, 0-2.
Draws some applause from the Michigan crowd here. Maybe a little from the Michigan State crowd, too. It was a good hack and a pitch that can elicit admiration from even opposing fans.
Plenty of Spartan fans right in front of us here down the first base line. A lot of maize and blue in the crowd as well. Carrasco fights one off to stay alive there. Count will remain at 0-2.
Looked like a curveball there in on the hands from Betza. Carrasco tardy on it. It was all she could do to just get a piece. I look for Betza to maybe try the rise ball up and out here.
The 0-2 is instead a changeup in the dirt, and it's swung on and missed. Carrasco down on strikes. First strikeout of the day for Betza.
I know what I'm talking about, Kev. She did the antithesis of what I suggested.
There's a reason that Jennifer Brundage, the Michigan pitching coach, calls the pitches and you don't. But the cleanup hitter, Caitlin Evelyn, will have a chance to bat here. Runner on first base. She swings and misses. Another changeup in the dirt. It's 0-1.
Evelyn hit a 3-run bomb in the first inning yesterday against Indiana and then drew a few walks for the remainder of the game. Coach Jackie Joseph praised her for her patience in the wake of that hot start.
Evelyn will work the count even, 1-1. Over at first base, Forster is 2 for 3 in attempts. Evelyn has been another player, though, a young player. You look at this Michigan State lineup, it's very young. A lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores. Evelyn, one of those sophomores, as she drills one down the third baseline foul, 1-2. That has really performed, batting .400 this year, 9 home runs, and 51 RBIs. You look at this Michigan State order, they hit a ton of home runs. You think Michigan's lineup is good hitting the ball out of the park. Michigan State is even better in terms of their Big Ten ranking. The 1-2, up and away, close pitch, and Cody Little does not flinch. It's 2-2.
Crowd wanted it. I think Megan Betza did too, but controlled her reaction out there in the circle. It's something you've harped on this season. And now she'll reload and try to get the out this time.
That's a very mature, the 2-2. A ball, the throw down. Won't matter. It was actually a called strike 3. I was fooled on that one. It was a very delayed call. I don't even think there was a strike 3 call, but the pitch did look good enough to register the second strikeout of the game for Megan Betza. So a leadoff walk does no harm. Michigan out of the inning, bottom of the first. Coming up here, this is WCBN Sports' presentation of Michigan softball. No score, heading to the bottom of the first. And
I'm with you, Kev. I was a little perplexed as to why Abby Ramirez did not apply the tag on what looked like a bang-bang play down there at second base, because Cody Little, the home plate ump, was not very emphatic with his called strike 3. It looked like a beautiful pitch and a close one from Megan Betza, but yeah, it was really hard to tell that the strikeout looking is what actually happened. But, you know, Abby Ramirez is not going to just refuse to apply a tag under normal circumstances. So he did a good job intuiting what was going on out there. I think that inning really was undone for the Michigan State Spartans when, on the heels of the walk, the hard-fought walk drawn by Leah Forster, Mackenzie Long ahead in the count, 1-0, swings at a pitch and flies out to center. I think, you know, in that situation, maybe you want to feel out Betts a little more, maybe get deeper into the count, see if you can really work her. And I think Long sort of undid that and allowed zone.
Well, Christina Zalewski will have an opportunity here in the circle for the Spartans, the junior from Ann Arbor, Michigan, on the year 6-6, a 3.31 ERA. This will be her 21st start, 97 1/3 innings pitched, 37 walks, 86 strikeouts, and Kelly Christner will lead things off for the Wolverines. And Christner at the top of the order, Mo, is one of the things that has really allowed this Michigan lineup to take off.
She does it all. She's got speed, she's got pop, and she can lay down a mean bunt, too.
Christner's will take the first pitch to the second baseman, but Kay and Christner retired on one pitch. The rest of the lineup for the Wolverines is Abby Ramirez at shortstop, Faith Canfield in the 3-hole at second base, batting cleanup Aiden Falk in right field, Tara Blanco at first base, batting 5th, Madison Heaton, the designated player today, Lindsay Montemorado at the hot corner, batting 7th, Katie Alexander is catching today at the 8th spot, and rounding out the lineup, Natalie Peters in left field. Ramirez will take the first pitch for a ball.
Aggressive defense by the Spartans shifted way in against the slapper Ramirez.
Evelyn 15 feet in front of the third base bag. It's 1-1 now on Ramirez. 364 this year, 20 RBIs. And you look at the top 3 of this Michigan order, a lot of base stealing ability. All 3 of them have double-digit steals. Ramirez fouls one off, and it will spin foul. Christner has 17 stolen bases. Ramirez has swiped 15, and Canfield in the on-deck circle has 10, which is one of the reasons why Carol Hutchins has configured the lineup in this way. The 1-2 to Ramirez, an off-speed pitch, and it's through the right side for a base hit.
Yeah, but Kay, the second baseman, ranged slightly in and slightly up the middle. I think she got a bad break on that ball, just out of the reach of her outstretched glove. Not a very hard hit ball from Abby Ramirez, but it'll get the job done and it'll get things going for the Wolverines. And you're talking about their stolen bases. Well, opponents have found a lot of success against the Spartans this year with Besson behind the plate. Opponents of Michigan State are 34 for 37 swiping bags. So a high yield strategy.
It looked very similar. Ramirez's batted ball to Christner's, but this one found the way to the outfield. Canfield will take the first pitch, followed into foul territory, first base side. Canfield on the year, 392. That number jumps out to you, almost hitting 400. 8 home runs, which is tied for the team lead, and 37 RBIs. Canfield has found a home at second base, replacing Sierra Romero. Second pitch of the at-bat is in there for a called strike, and the Michigan sophomore will have to dig herself out of an 0-2 hole here.
She hits lasers, Kev. Canfield can line the ball from line to line, gap to gap.
The 0-2. Off-speed pitch, and it's fought off foul. You can see Canfield's power is respected by the Spartan outfielders. Eccles in left field is almost at the warning track. Same can be said for Lexi White in right field. Leah Forster, who has great speed, is a little shallower than her left and right field counterparts. The 0-2 popped in the infield. Mackenzie Long will call off her second baseman and make the catch. A little miscommunication there. Could have caused some trouble for the Spartans, but instead it's the second out of the inning.
Yeah, we could hear Long call that one from our perch along the right field line. McKay's got to get out of the way. Almost an error. But fortunately for the Spartans, Long able to muscle out her up the middle counterpart.
Aiden Falk again hitting over 300 this year, 333, and she takes the first pitch right to Long. Long thought about second base, instead throws it to Gutnick across the diamond, and that'll do it for the Wolverines as Christina Zalewski strands a one-out single. We're through an inning here at Alumni Field. No score. We head to the top of the second.
There's a nice swing there by Aiden Falk. Sometimes, though, you hit a hard line drive on the ground and it doesn't find the hole. Sometimes, if you're Abby Ramirez, you hit a soft bouncer and it does find the hole. Those are the breaks. That's how it goes. And Michigan will look to reload. Zalewski presents sort of an interesting problem to solve for the Wolverines. She's got a very tall, lanky frame, and as such, she's releasing the ball just a little bit closer to home plate. She doesn't have a ton of gas out there from the circle, but at the very least, there's a little less time to react just in virtue of the ball, coming in from a closer release point.
Zalewski, the tallest player on Michigan State's roster, standing at 6 foot. And we talked about it before the game. We were walking in right next to the Spartans as they were warming up, and they have a very tall team. Zalewski, Sarah Gutnick over at first base, standing at 5'11". Very athletic Michigan State team, and it has caused the Wolverines problems from time to time. That's why I think before the tournament actually started, I really wanted to see Indiana in this round because Michigan dominated the Hoosiers in 3 games in the regular season. Michigan State, they won both times, but a lot closer than that Hoosier series.
Yeah, absolutely. I was hoping for the same thing as a bit of a Michigan fan myself. And I think that with only one senior in the starting lineup this year, this Michigan State squad is one that's poised to maybe close the gap between the Big 2 and Little 12 that the Big Ten has been in softball. I don't expect them to get to the same level as Michigan or Minnesota, but, Nebraska, Ohio State, Illinois, the programs, 3 through 7 are really interchangeable year by year. And I think next year it could be Michigan State's turn to get to the top of that group.
And you look at this, we've talked a lot about Michigan State's offense as Ebony Eccles steps to the plate. Michigan State's offense comparably to Minnesota or Michigan, very similar. Where they differ is the pitching or lack thereof for the Spartans as Eccles takes a called strike. Michigan State really doesn't have an ace like Megan Betza or a Sarah Gronewagen that Minnesota has, or Michigan obviously has in Betza. The 0-1 to Eccles and changeup that drops right to the floor. It's 0-2.
Yeah, Betza took about a batter and a half to find her rhythm, it seems.
Eccles on the year, a respectable 323, 43 RBIs. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Eccles down on strikes and then makes 3 consecutive strikeouts for Megan Betza.
That changeup from Megan Betza serves as an effective setup pitch. You hammer it low, you keep them, you get the batter to fish, and that sets up a high, hard one. But it's also effective in and of itself as a pitch that produces swings and misses. And she just went back to the well there against Eccles and got it done.
Betza has been utilizing that changeup early and often so far. Instead goes with some harder stuff for a ball to Sarah Gutnick, the senior first baseman, the only senior in the Michigan State starting lineup today. 279 on the year, 10 home runs, 31 RBIs. There's another ball, 2-0.
Standard defensive formation to start things off for the Wolverines, a defense that hasn't been tested that much today.
A lazy fly ball and 3 strikeouts. Off-speed pitch runs inside, and now it's 3-0 on Gutnick. Katie Alexander will have a few words for her pitcher. Alexander has taken over the starting role. At the beginning of the year, it was a two-woman race, I should say, between Alexander and Alex Subject. And Alexander's defense and offense have proved to be worthy of Carol Hutchins' lineup. the 3-0, and Gutnick got the green light. It's 3-1 though after she fouls it straight back.
Yeah,
A little surprised to see Gutnick get the green light there.
Not really. She's got a ton of pop. Michigan State, Jackie Joseph knows that if they're going to beat Michigan, it's going to have to be a 1-0 or 2-1 score type of game. Just going for it all in one swing.
The 3-1 drops in for a called strike, and Betza has battled back here to push the count full. Wind blowing slightly in. Keep that in mind as the big boppers for both lineups take the batter's box. Here's the payoff pitch from Betza. Just outside a tight horizontal zone, and Gutnick on via the walk. Katie Alexander has a few words for the home plate umpire asking where that pitch was, because from our vantage point, it didn't miss.
Maybe a bit low and away. I think home plate umpire Cody Little not seating the lower part of the zone. Gutnick, for her height, she's got some high knees, and apparently they were just above where that ball slotted across the zone.
So Betza will have to work around a one-out walk here. Gets ahead of Lexi White, 0-1 with a rise ball. Lexi White, 271, 8 home runs, 13 RBIs. She makes those home runs count. The 0-1 make that 0-2. White was frozen as that pitch hit the outer third.
White's coming into this series pretty hot. She had a couple of homers in their 3-game sweep against the Indiana Hoosiers for the Spartans. Sorry, 2 out of 3 wins, but she had 2 homers in that series.
The 0-2, and it's a high rise ball. This one popped up into left field. Peters coming in, calls off Ramirez to make the second out of the inning.
Peters not playing in her traditional spot of right field. She's been displaced. Coach Carol Hutchins wanted to get her speed in the lineup while also keeping Aiden Falk's bat in. I guess, and getting Maddie Uden in that DP spot, certainly a motivating factor.
Peters definitely has the skill and speed to play all 3 outfield positions, as Besson cuts right through Betza's offering, 0-1.
And this is one thing that separates Michigan State from Michigan and Minnesota. A real weak spot offensively at the catcher spot. Looked to be something that Michigan would have going on, but Alexander and Subject have both picked it up as the season's worn on.
Alexander sets up inside. Betza hits her spot. It's grounded foul in the direction of Montemurano at third base. So it's 0-2 on Besson, who comes in struggling a little bit, 183, 7 RBIs. The 0-2. Check swing. Montemurano fields across the diamond to Blanco in time. And that's a 5-3 putout. That is the sign of a veteran third baseman, a very good defensive third baseman. And that'll do it for the top of the second inning. We head to the bottom of the second. Still no score here, but it's a strands of one-out walk.
Oh, yeah. Either Lindsay Montemurano is brilliant and has lightning quick reactions, or she made a dumb play in keeping that ball fair, because that one was rolling foul. Maybe, in her mind, she connected that Besson is a catcher and probably slow out of the box, and that's a good chance to get an out. But it was a tough play. It was pretty close to being bang at first base. Give her credit for making it, but off the bat, I wanted her to let that go foul.
And the spin on that ball looked like it would push foul.
You never know, to be fair.
But hats off to Montemurano, who knows this field like the back of her hand. She knows this Michigan State's team, and she knows Tara Blanco at first base. Just made a veteran play there, and it paid off for the Wolverines, as they have now stranded 2 Megan Betza walks. 2 up for the Wolverines in the home half of the second. Blanco, Uden, Montemurano. They will face Christina Zalewski, who had a relatively easy first inning aside from a weak Ramirez single.
The good thing about this Wolverines lineup as it's been clicking is that while in the past a scoreless first inning might have been concerning, now, given their proclivity for the long ball, you know they're only 1 or 2 swings away from breaking a game open. At least that's the trend you hope will continue throughout this Big Ten tournament.
Michigan's lineup definitely more home run friendly over the past few weeks. We especially saw that in Piscataway this weekend against Rutgers, but even against Indiana and a few midweek games here and there against Western Michigan, they have enjoyed that long ball. To Tara Blanco, the first pitch is a called strike. Tara Blanco, one of those players who has really picked it up in Big Ten play, has elevated that average all the way to 283, 6 home runs, 43 RBIs. She'll take a ball at the letters, 1-1. Leads the team in RBIs.
Blanco, ever a patient hitter. I think we saw the season start to turn around when she started driving the ball to the opposite field just a bit more.
Is fooled by a changeup there, 1-2.
That was not going to the opposite field as she made contact. Head all over the place, way out in front. Good off-speed stuff from Christina Zalewski.
You have really seen the evolution of Tara Blanco, though. You mentioned going the opposite way. That is when a power hitter is at her best. The 1-2 outside, 2-2, is when she's has the ability and the patience to drive it to the opposite field that doesn't fall in love with pulling the ball, because when you do and you miss the barrel of the bat, you're going to roll it to the shortstop and make an easy out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 2-2 on the junior first baseman from Zalewski. It's fouled away.
And we do see the swing becoming a little elongated at times. You wonder if maybe Blanco gets in her head every now and then, or at least was at the beginning of the season under the weight of expectations. Whatever her problems were, they appear to be in the past for the most part.
She's reaching base at a 5.64 clip in Big Ten play. The 2-2 way high, 3-2 now. Not only getting on base often in Big Ten play, but hitting at a 4.07 clip. And 4 of her 6 home runs have come in conference play as well. Here's the 3-2 from Zalewski. She winds, delivers. It's up above the belt, and Blanco works a leadoff walk.
There's that patience coming into play. You wonder if you're going to see a pinch runner yet for Tara Blanco. Carol Hutchins has a few at her disposal. She'll let Blanco run. Blanco's a great athlete. Maybe not the fleetest of foot on the Wolverines team, but no slouch in that department either.
Michigan has been playing in some chilly weather as of late, so frequently when Blanco reaches first base, she grabs that sweater from the dugout, but will elect the short sleeves here as it's a warm day. Maddie Uden takes a called strike, 0-1. Still no score here, bottom of the second inning. Michigan a hit and has worked an leadoff walk here in the second. So 1 on, nobody out for the freshman Uden. Off-speed pitch, it's fouled away.
Uden has seized a spot that we assumed for most of the season would belong to Amanda Vargas. She, Coach Carol Hutchins definitely has sort of a next woman up mentality. If you're not doing your job, someone else will take it. Vargas slumped a bit. Uden seized her spot. Here she is in the Big Ten Tourney.
Uden takes the 0-2 up and away. It's 1-2. Maddie Uden really has come into herself, the freshman from Glendale, Arizona, hitting .333 on the year with some pop as well. Her first collegiate home run coming against her sister's team, the Indiana Hoosiers. 1-2, swing and a miss, Uden down on strikes.
It's a solid at-bat from Zalewski, switched the speeds well.
That was the first time we've really seen Zalewski do that and fool a Michigan hitter. She's induced some weak contact, but it was really Michigan who seemed comfortable in the batter's box until Uden stepped to the plate. And that will bring on Mata Morano, who's averaged now over 300 on the year, 305. There's a called strike on the outer third, 0-1 on the senior.
You know, Betza didn't get that call against Gutnick, I'm just saying. But Monty has turned things around as of late, and she's probably, I guess the turnaround that makes me feel the best. She's finally found the power stroke as of late, because you want her clicking when it comes tournament time.
Well, her defense has been clicking a couple nice plays. She'll have to work out of an 0-2 hole here as that changeup catches the zone. Looked a little high on the 5-3 Montemurano, but again, unbiased here at WCBN Sports. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Montemurano will go down swinging high cheese.
That was some gas from Christina Zalewski. That's the hardest pitch I've seen her throw today. Yeah, it's going to be a long game if we're already beefing with Cody Little's strike zone here in the bottom of the second.
I'm surprised it took you all the way to the bottom of the second inning, Mo.
I try to take life as it comes, not complain, just go with the flow.
Katie Alexander check swing, but doesn't matter. It's a called strike, and Zalewski really pounding the zone here in the second inning, trying to work around a leadoff walk to Tara Blanco.
I think Alexander is a hitter who's really only starting to discover the power that she has at the plate.
It's a high rise ball, and that's ball 1, 1-1. 2 outs, Blanco on first, but Katie Alexander does have 4 bombs this year, as Besson will have a quick chat with Zalewski in the circle. One of those home runs was skied out of Alumni Field, actually hit the batter's eye of Ray Fisher Stadium in left center field. Just an absolute shot.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, the one official home run derby they've had in practice, she was the winner.
Here's the 1-1-2. Alexander, it misses inside. And it's turned into a good hitter's count here. 2-1, 2 outs, bottom of the second inning. Defense playing Alexander straight up, maybe to pull a little bit. Eccles in left field hugging the third base line. Swing and a miss there, 2-2.
And it must be mentioned, Alexander and Zalewski, again, former high school teammates, so they know each other pretty well. This will be, I think, a battle to watch throughout the game until one of them gets pulled. Thus far, a competitive at-bat both ways.
Zalewski winds, delivers the 2-2 pitch. It's grounded past Zalewski to Mackenzie Long. Throws a little high, but it doesn't matter as Gutnick reaches up, snatches it out of the air, and that's out number 3 for Christina Zalewski and the rest of the Michigan State Spartans. We're through 2 innings here. Still no score. This is WCBN Sports' presentation of Michigan softball. Kevin Klein, Morris Fabry, with you here on this beautiful afternoon here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And so far, Mo, not a lot of action on either side. It's a few walks and a weak Ramirez hit. Other than that, nothing.
Yeah, you would expect that Michigan's offense would keep up their pace from the last few games, with the caveat that they can't go out there hitting, a home run for every strikeout like they had been over that 9-game stretch. But starting off a little cool, you figure maybe the adrenaline of playing in front of their home crowd on this big stage might be getting to them ever so slightly, but under bigger stages here in front of this home crowd recently, and they haven't lost at home since last year, March 25th against Northwestern. So you figure it's only a matter of time before they figure it out and right the ship.
Michigan coming off a series against Rutgers in which they scored 45 runs to Rutgers 2. Capped off with a 20-0 5-inning run rule victory on Sunday. And that really is a series that helped a lot of these players at least gain confidence coming into this Big Ten tournament. That's the series you want to end on, that note you want to end on, especially when a lot of the bench players got extra confidence as well. Haley Hoganrod, a 3-run double. Swearingen, a big home run. These are going to be key role players if Michigan wants to make a deep run in the postseason.
Well, a lot is made of confidence, of momentum when it comes to late season, big-time bouts. But Another saying, as it goes with ball sports, baseball, softball, momentum's only good as your next game starting pitcher. And right now, the Wolverines have run into a good one. Zalewski's had her best stuff out there in the circle so far.
It will be Zalewski's opposing counterpart, Megan Betza, who is back to work, and she starts the third inning off with a ball outside to Melanie Biquet, the freshman second baseman, hitting .276 on the year, 2 dingers, 9 RBI. Betza's 1-0 is lifted into left field. This might be trouble, but instead it goes foul. Just foul. Peters, her diving attempt, no good.
It was a sloppy trail to the ball from Natalie Peters. I think the moment it left the bat, she knew it was out of her reach, and she was stumbling as that ball was falling to the turf. If that landed fair, it would have taken Peters a little while to recover. Again, maybe slightly out of her element, though I imagine she's played plenty of left field over the course of her softball career.
Betza will fire a ball low, 2-1. Biquet, just a freshman from Elk Grove, California. More of a middle infielder, very versatile at the bottom of Jackie Joseph's lineup. The 2-1 upstairs. Biquet turns out of the way of that one. It's 3-1.
Biquet, not a very patient hitter, not a very powerful hitter, but certainly competent at the bottom of the lineup.
On deck, the top of the order, Leah Forster, who led the game off with a walk. Betza's 3-1, catches the corner, 3-2.
A nod there from Katie Alexander, pounding the glove. Not quite as demonstrative in her body language as her teammate and backup Alex Subject, but as a catcher, you still got to have that aspect to your game out there.
Another full count for Megan Betza. This time it's into left field, a base hit. The first hit of the game for the Michigan State Spartans to lead off base knock for Biquet.
Good patience there from Biquet. Betza went with the off-speed pitch low and away, and Biquet just went with it, slapped it beyond the outstretched glove of Abby Ramirez, who had her shaded ever so slightly up the middle. It's a hard hit ball to lead things off for the Spartans.
So a dangerous spot here for the Wolverines as Forster is back in the box, walked in her first plate appearance. Mackenzie Long on deck. And she drives one into left field. Peters going back at the track. Can't make the grab. It's off the top of the wall. Here comes Biquet. The relay throw. Not in time. It's dropped by Alexander. Forster to third. She's safe. And Michigan State has taken the early 1-0 lead.
Peters turned over the wrong shoulder initially when pursuing that ball. She course corrected and almost made a nice grab at the fence. The ball was in her glove as she ran into the fence, but the ball ended up knocking the glove off of her hand. A fan had to help her out and throw it back onto the field. Peters with the misplay out in left field. Christner did a good job of picking it up, a little slow on the relay, and Abby Ramirez had a little trouble getting it out of her glove, and so her relay to the plate, which probably should have nabbed the runner Biquet, just got there a little late. Alexander struggled to corral and make the tag, and here we are, Michigan State threatening.
If Alexander has that ball or comes up with that ball, she's out. Biquet is out by 3 steps at least. Instead, it scoots away, and everybody's safe, and there's a meeting in the circle.
Yeah, Alexander did well to block the plate there, but that throw is just coming in too slow from Abby Ramirez. You expect a bit better. But it also had to do with Kelly Christner's throw high to the cutoff. The whole relay uncharacteristic of what you'd expect out of a Michigan softball defense. But this defense has taken a bit of a step back from recent years. Nobody on that first team all-D. A place where usually you'll see at least 1 or 2 Wolverines.
So Betza, nobody out. Long shows bunt, gets it down, but it's foul. Nobody out. Forster at third, and Michigan State already enjoying a 1-0 lead, looking to add a few more here. Long 0 for 1 today. Flew out to Christner in center back in the first.
Interesting gambit going for the squeeze bunt there.
Michigan State pulling out all the stops here against Michigan. The 0-1 is in the left field. Peters will have another opportunity. Gets behind this one. The throw as Forster tries to score is way offline. And Forster's pumped up. 2-0 Michigan State.
Michigan State celebrating like they just won the freaking tournament. Long giving hugs to her coaches back at the dugout. And who can blame Forster for being fired up? You know, Zalewski's got good stuff out there in the circle. If they're going to beat Michigan, 2 runs might be all they need. You imagine Betts is going to settle down, but it's an inauspicious start to this inning for the Wolverines. We'll see how Betts and the team responds.
The only good thing for the Wolverines is that the bases are clear with 1 out in the top of the third. Big swing from Carrasco, but comes up empty there.
I think I felt the breeze from that up here, but also the wind is sort of blowing in our direction.
Going back to that Peters misplay, I'm not sure if she makes that grab, even if she makes the correct turn and plays it correctly.
I don't know. I think she'd get to the spot in the wall, on the wall just a bit quicker, and she did get her glove on that ball. It did pop out of her glove before ricocheting off the top of the fence and coming back into the field of play. We'll never know either way.
1-1 from Betza. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Carrasco, a couple big swings, but has not been able to make contact against Betza. And you think back, when is the last time Megan Betza has given up 2 runs in an outing? She has been that good as of late, coming into this one with a 1.18 ERA. Here's the 1-2. It bounces 4 feet in front of the plate.
Yeah, Carrasco, I think, started off this at-bat looking to capitalize on the momentum they have going and add another run to that lead, but she was hectored by her third base coach. You know, you can't go for the fences every single swing, especially against Megan Betza.
Carrasco stays alive for another pitch, another close rise ball just outside. 3-2 now. A few moans and groans here from the Michigan faithful. Betza regroups. The 3-2 swing and miss. Carrasco down on strikes. Another good changeup from the senior.
Yeah, Betza pulled the string with the off speed there.
So 2 outs now for Michigan State after they have manufactured 2 runs so far in the third. Leadoff single, a double, and a sacrifice fly. Ball high to the cleanup hitter, Caitlin Evelyn.
And there you go. Another hitter that you like to see up with nobody on and 2 outs. Unfortunately, it's come after 2 runs have been scored.
Evelyn, a very dangerous hitter, leads this team in RBIs. Another ball low, 2-0.
She does it out of a really calm batting stance in a small frame. You wouldn't expect power necessarily looking at how Caitlin Evelyn stands in the batter's box.
Just a 5'4" sophomore from Anaheim. The 2-0. Ground ball. Montemurano fields it on a short hop, and that'll do it for the third inning, but not before Michigan State gets on the board. It's 2-0 Spartans. Michigan looking to get back into this one in the bottom of the third.
I'm always in awe of infielders when they field on those short hops so effortlessly. It's something that they practice. Every practice throughout the season is working on picking those out of the dirt. But, even after fielding 10,000 of those, I can't imagine that I'd be able to make it look as easy as Lindsay Montemurano did right there.
Rounds crew coming out here to touch up the field.
Now, Carol Hutchins said that the reason that a lot of the Big Ten coaches voted the Big Ten tournament back into existence is that it served as a tune-up for NCAA tournament play. And that's certainly how Michigan looks to utilize it right now. But, the more games you play, the more of an opportunity you get to tune up. And I don't think Michigan is looking ahead to any games beyond the one in front of them right here, right now. But even as it stands, it does hurt them if they go out right here to the Michigan State Spartans, and that they won't get to face off against the top competition in the Golden Gophers, who I think we can reasonably expect to see in the championship.
Now, you think of Michigan, they're still fighting for a regional, to host a regional. Now, it might be far-fetched, but there's still a chance. Michigan would probably have to, at the very least, beat Minnesota in the championship game in the Big Ten tournament. But if they go out earlier, I think it's time to start packing a suitcase because they're headed somewhere other than Alumni Field for the regional matchup. But
Yeah.
First things first, they will have to overcome a 2-0 deficit here. Peters, Krisner, Ramirez due up.
Leah Forster playing so far in. Doesn't have much respect for the power slap ability of Ramirez or now Natalie Peters. Peters did hit a long ball only a few games ago.
I believe that home run ended one of the Indiana games. First pitch to Peters outside, 1-0.
That ended that series in the bottom of the 6th, an 8-0 victory for the Maize and Blue.
Peters hits at a 372 clip in addition to 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. She fouls one off, a check swing. Goes right off the handle of her bat. Bad break for the Wolverines.
Yeah, that's kind of the double bonus of spotting it up and in. It's a tough pitch to hit, and sometimes if you miss, you'll hit the bat anyway.
Zaluski's 1-2, and the bottom drops out. Nothing Peters could do with that one. It's 1-2. Big swing from the sophomore. Zaluski gets the sign from the dugout. And she hurls a ball that's fouled in the direction of Carol Hutchins.
Thus far, it seems like Zaluski's go-to pitch when she's ahead in the count, looking to put the batters away, is a hard riser or a hard curveball. She really likes to pump up the gas and just try to overwhelm the Michigan hitters in the batter's box.
She's been doing a good job of it so far, only allowed 1 hit. It's also walked 1. The 1-2 to Peters, check swing again.
Fouled that one, yeah, right. Bounced it up into the face of home plate umpire Cody Little.
He seems to be okay. It's still 1-2 on the slap hitting Peters.
Maybe she'll give Michigan, or maybe he'll give Michigan a better zone if she hits another one his way. Send the message.
Assert her dominance. Not sure how that would work, though. Zaluski seems to be in charge here. The 1-2 just misses off the black.
It's working. It was a close pitch. Zaluski's just missed in that same spot twice in this at-bat.
We have seen the zone consistently tight from left to right, both ways. So Peters has worked herself into a 2-2 count. Pops one, and Evelyn able to make the grab in the air at third base.
And Peters did a good job staying alive in that at-bat, but never really looked to have her metaphorical feet under her. Not a great swing, and a nice play by Evelyn to make the play ranging back behind the third base bag.
Especially given how shallow Evelyn was playing at third base, probably 20 feet in front of the bag. Krisner shows bunt. That one's high. Krisner 0 for 1 today. Bounced out to McKay at second.
We've seen Krisner start some rallies in the past by bunting and getting on base.
Krisner not afraid to bunt, even though she leads the team in home runs and average. Fouls this one out of play.
After the start to the season that she had, maybe you'd expect a little more extra base power out of her as the season wore on, but through one way or another, she's gotten the job done consistently, whether in the 1 spot, the 3 spot, or the 7 spot in the order.
Krisner has been all over the place, very versatile in terms of where she is in the lineup. Fouls one. That was a changeup, and Zaluski has been very good with that off-speed pitch all day long, fooling a lot of the Wolverines so far today. The 1-2 pitch from Zalewski to Christner. In right field, popped up, in comes White, she makes the grab in foul territory.
Credit Zalewski, she has not gotten behind many hitters in this Michigan order. 7 first pitch strikes against the 10 batters that she's faced so far. And she's produced some weak swings.
There's been, you're right, Mo, there's been no hard contact from the Wolverines. Their bats have not come alive yet. As Ramirez digs in, she has the only single of the day for the Wolverines. She takes ball 1 high. And this is something that if you're Carol Hutchins, you have to be a little careful with, because there have been times where Michigan's bats have just gone to sleep for entire games, as that one's rifled foul.
Yeah, I can only imagine what kinds of thoughts are running through her mind at this point. You know, thought maybe those struggles on offense that have plagued them the entire season had been put in the past after the bold move she made against Wisconsin.
That move jostled the lineup as Zalewski tried to drop one in there, but it misses. 2-1. Jostled the lineup in which a lot of the consistent starters for Michigan were out of the lineup. But it ended up working. It resulted in a victory, and a series victory for the Wolverines. Here's the 2-2. It's to Evelyn, but it's a foul ball. Evelyn made contact, but the home plate umpire, Cody Little, calls it foul. Carol Hutchins not happy. A lot of the fans not happy.
It's not a good call.
And that, you're absolutely right. That was not a good call.
Evelyn touched that one in fair territory. It was a ball that was headed foul off the bat. Coach Carol Hutchins is that right. It was a bad call, and she's still exchanging words with Cody Little.
Not a good call at all, as it would result in another single for Ramirez. And now Carol Hutchins might have a few words for the third base umpire, Leah Bowen, as well.
It was in the same vein as the play made by Lindsay Montemurano against Michigan State's catcher, Lindsey Besson. An unwise maybe play to pick it up, but that one was hard hit. She had the out at first if she fielded it cleanly, but clearly in fair territory.
Instead, it'll be a 2-2 pitch to Ramirez. Again, a bouncer in the direction of second base, and McKay makes the play there. And boos will rain on Cody Little as this third inning comes to a close, 2-0 Michigan State.
It's a shutdown inning, 1-2-3 for Zalewski against some of the best on-base threats in this Michigan lineup. It's getting late early here at Alumni Field, 2-0 after 3. Michigan being out-hit and outdone by a Spartans team that, you know, maybe they should feel at home here at Alumni, but Michigan should really be the team gaining support from the crowd, which has grown a bit unruly at this point.
Yeah, you can kind of feel that everyone is being a little antsy here, as Michigan has been held to 1 hit against a pitcher that they've hit well before and has been hit frequently by other teams. Indiana yesterday. Zalewski comes into this one, or came into this one, with a 3.31 ERA, which has since dropped.
Yeah, boos oftentimes, you know, this crowd would never boo the Michigan team. They're too good of a program for that. The fans are too good for that. But in some respects, it's them venting their frustrations at the recurrence of what has been a pattern throughout the season. It's not just the one call for Cody Little. I think it's a little more than that you heard come out of the crowd, maybe over our ambient mics here.
Yeah, absolutely. Michigan at times and over 2 or even 3 game stretches just have not been able to string together hits. And it is frustrating because they are such a good lineup, a good veteran lineup. But now it rests on Megan Betts' shoulders to keep this a 2-0 game, keep her offense in it for as long as she can against Eccles, Gutnick, and White of Michigan State.
Yeah, this Michigan State lineup doesn't relent, but in the end, Megan Betza will do as well as Megan Betza allows herself to do. I don't think there is any lineup in the country that can stand up to Megan Betza when she is really clicking. I mean, hey, we saw it against Florida. Florida, the #1 ranked team in the country right now. Betza shut them down for 9 innings. This Michigan State team shouldn't be much trouble for her, despite what we've seen so far.
Eccles takes a called strike. She struck out in the second. The big hits, or I should say the only 2 hits for Michigan State, a single by McKay and then a double by Forster. That was the RBI variety. Eccles fights one off and fouls it away, 0-2. And you can hear the crowd sarcastically cheer Cody Little as he calls that one foul, as it was very foul.
It was a good call.
Always have to praise the umpires for a good call. The 0-2 to Eccles, grounded right to Blanco, doesn't even have to move, and that's out number 1.
Hot shot there and a good pitch by Betza to bury that one in the dirt. That's about as hard as Eccles would have had a chance to make contact. It was right at a defender.
Gutnick will take the box. She walked in the second. Betza has been confident with the rise ball and the changeup. Goes with the rise ball here to Montemurano, and that one is a 5-3 putout. Montemurano fields it in fair territory, as that one was a very close play as well. But this one goes in the favor of Michigan, and it's a quick 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
Kev, you were an umpire. Did the fans booing or cheering or anything like that ever affect your calls out on the field, do you think?
Right now, I would imagine that as it's a ground ball from White to Ramirez, a 1-2-3 inning. Betza fires back. We're halfway through this one, 2-0 Michigan State.
Back to the umpiring.
What really matters?
Yeah, I mean, you've got some experience. You have to have some opinions as to how the crowd should treat an umpire, how an umpire should react, can react.
This is 100% fair game, because any bad call, any close call, someone's going to feel wrong. And when it doesn't go in your direction, which it didn't go in Michigan's way or in their favor, the fans are going to respond, and they have the right to do so. And as an umpire, my heart starts to beat a little faster, because you start to question every call you make. Every ball, was that really a ball? Every strike, was that really a strike? Every fair foul call. And it's sometimes the purpose of fans chanting or booing is to rattle the umpire, to get the next call. That's the end goal. And if it works, then great for the fans. If it doesn't, you hope it pumps up the team. And that's what the fans are hoping for right now, as their team, their home team, down 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, I think through my umpiring experience, I always try to call it unbiased either way, regardless of what I've heard from coaches or fans or viewers or what have you. But, yeah, every call for the rest of the game, I'm sort of wondering, is that the right call? Is my subconscious sort of influencing what I'm calling? It is hard to tell, and it does rattle you, but I figure at this level, the umps will be able to shake it off one way or another. Cody Little's still going to be able to sleep at night after maybe making a questionable wrong call there.
Canfield, Falk, and then Blanco. So the meat of the Michigan order. 2 up here in the 4th. A big opportunity for Michigan, as a lot of home run power coming up between scheduled hitters, 20 bombs this year.
Canfield, maybe not an ideal leadoff hitter. She's been the best hitter in Big Ten play for the Wolverines, but not super patient. Doesn't draw a lot of walks. Also hasn't struck out in the entire Big Ten season.
Canfield will ground the first pitch foul. Popped out too long, the shortstop in the first. Michigan has only mustered up 2 base runners all game long. And as a result, Canfield will show bunt, will pull it back as it's 1-1.
Good eye there from Canfield. Outfield again, shading pretty deep against the Michigan righty.
Canfield grounds one again foul, 1-2. Very early on the Zalewski offerings. Zalewski, 45 pitches so far throughout the game to deal with this Michigan order. 7 of 11 first pitch strikes. So getting ahead of these Wolverines. The 1-2 is driven into right center field. That'll get down off the wall. That's a base hit. Canfield will stop at first as White's relay throw was very on time, very quick. And in any sense, though, it's a leadoff single for Faith Canfield.
Yeah, rocket one hop off the wall. Canfield hits lasers. But yeah, she would have been a dead duck if she went hard for second base. You're thinking double off the bat when you find the gap, but it's a pretty short right center here at Alumni, and White pounced on that one quickly.
Faith Canfield can hit as well.
I'm sure that's never been said before.
I had to make the pun. The second Michigan hit of the day. Aiden Falk comes up to the plate swinging. She fouls one away. 0-1 on the right fielder, Falk. And the other reason why you might think double right off the bat of Faith Canfield is she's tied for the team lead in doubles with 17 and is tied with Aiden Falk, who's at the dish right now. A lot of extra base power. Falk grounds one past Evelyn at third base. It's back-to-back singles for Michigan. And they might have something going here in the fourth.
Evelyn was shaded in, perhaps guarding against a sacrifice bunt from Aiden Falk. And I love that Coach Carol Hutchins didn't take the bat out of the hands of one of the best run movers and RBI producers in this lineup. And she's just scalded it past Evelyn, who, if she were positioned normally, maybe has a chance at turning two.
Aiden Falk will be lifted for a pinch runner. That's Nikki Wald. A lot of speed on the base paths here, as Canfield has 10 stolen bases on the year. And some Go Blue chants are starting to erupt here at Alumni Field as the first two have reached for the Maize and Blue. Nikki Wald also 5 for 5 in stolen bases.
Hutch exchanging some words with Tara Blanco. The tying run now on first. I'd be strongly against a bunt here.
Would hate to take the bat out of Tara Blanco's hands. That doesn't seem to be the plan, as it's a ball outside, a little high. Blanco walked in the second, a really good at-bat to lead off that inning, but nothing came of it. And this is where the home field advantage really can benefit the Wolverines. Zalewski deals, and it's fouled straight back. Blanco was right on that one, just a little under it.
Yeah, she squared that one up. It'd still be flying, Kev. The wind has died down. The sun's still beaming, setting ever so slightly behind the backstop.
Ebony Ackles playing at the warning track in left field. The other outfielders quite deep as well. The 1-1 from Zalewski. Inside, 2-1.
A very close pitch, and one that could hold a lot of weight to it as far as how it shifts the count now in Tara Blanco's favor.
This is the first trouble that Zalewski has had to face all day long. The 2-1. Drops one in there for a called strike. Blanco was looking rise ball. Instead, it was the changeup, and it fooled her. Throws her at the plate. 2-2 now on Tara.
Sitting dead red, as they say, and Zalewski painted the black instead.
Blanco readies and fouls one off. A tough pitch to handle up and in.
Yeah, that was
not sure if she got that foul ball, got a little of her on the way down as she's having a chat with Carol Hutchins right now.
Yeah, that was a really awkward looking foul ball, and she's still shaken up. I think she might have fouled it off her inside knee, off her leg, something like that. It was a pitch in on the hands, and in that situation, you don't really see a lot of players still able to foul that one off of their own body. Nice pitch to tie her up from Zalewski, who has had some really entertaining battles with Blanco thus far here in the fourth inning.
You think up and in rise ball on the 2-2, and she fouls it away. What's next? Is it the low and away change up or drop ball? The 2-2. Ground ball right back to Zalewski. She'll take the easy play as everyone moves up 60 feet. A productive at-bat for Tara Blanco.
Yeah, nice snag from Zalewski. I think the thought there has got to be to get a lead runner. Could have been a double play if she turned and threw quickly to second. Instead opted for the safe play, and that sets the table here for Maddie Uda, the freshman, a chance to make the biggest hit of her career so far.
Uden 0 for 1 today, really looked overmatched against Zalewski in the second inning. So 2 runners in scoring position now, and it's up to Maddie Uden to bring them home with 1 out here in the fourth. First pitch, and it's grounded foul.
Well, you want to see an aggressive approach there at the plate from Maddie Uden, but with first base open, Zalewski has no real incentive to throw Uden anything good to hit. It was a nice waste pitch down near the dirt, and Uden chased out of the zone.
Really a decision whether or not you want to face Uden with runners on second and third or Montemurano with the bases loaded here. Zalewski tries to go upstairs. Uden thought about it, instead able to hold up. And the count evens at 1.
Uden is a free swinger, something we see a lot out of freshmen. 1 walk to go with 11 strikeouts on the season. You really want contact in this situation. Hard contact, preferably.
Zalewski back in the circle. That pitch right at the knees, but a little outside and low for the junior. So a righty versus lefty matchup here for Michigan State. Infielders creeping in on Maddie Uden. The 2-1. Off-speed pitch. There's a called strike.
Uden sitting dead red just like Blanco and just like last at-bat. Zalewski evens the count with the off-speed stuff.
Christina Zalewski has been able to, time and time again, calm these Michigan hitters or back them up a little bit with that off-speed pitch. Here's the 2-2. Uden stays alive. It's fouled straight back.
And we've seen her go right back to the gas when she wants that strikeout. Would have been a big swing there. Momentum in the favor of the Spartans, but Uden with a big swing to foul it off and keep the at-bat alive.
Canfield at third. Wald at second. Uden at the plate. 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. 2-0 Michigan State. The 2-2, another foul. Uden stays alive and is fighting off some good drops here in this at-bat.
Hanging on by a thread against Zalewski, who really has had some nasty stuff in this outing against the Wolverines. And you sense that this is maybe the best chance the Wolverines are going to get to tie the game. You know, you still have 3 innings left after this, but it is an offense that has struggled to generate chances today.
Need to take advantage of their opportunities. The 2-2, that one into left field. Eccles turning around, spinning around, makes the grab. Canfield will come home and score. It's 2-1. Michigan cuts the lead in half.
Good 2-strike swing there by Maddie Uden. Didn't try to do too much with it. We've seen left fielders get turned around a couple times today, and Eccles, I think, fortunate to right the ship and make the grab in the end. But because she was positioned in to begin with and was tracking back wildly. No chance to cut down Canfield at the plate. The lead cut in half, and now Monty a chance to really come up big and tie this up.
Meeting in the circle here for the Spartans. Not sure if they'll make a pitching change. One thing that I think Carol Hutchins was not happy about is Nikki Wald didn't take off for third, so she's still at second base.
Yeah, I think, ideally you want Wald at third base right now, but at the same time, I think she also wanted to be able to score if Eccles misplayed it and that ball got to the wall. Being a base runner, being a pinch runner, you really have to play a sort of risk-reward game. And it helps if you have knowledge of where the opposition is positioned. But Eccles went after that ball in a really unpredictable fashion, and that's got to kind of throw out all the equations in Nikki Wald's head. Obviously, they don't take the form of literal mathematical equations, but it tips the scales, throws it all off, and I imagine Wald was a bit uncomfortable watching that ball's flight.
Meeting adjourned. Lindsay Montemurano 0 for 1 today. A big at-bat here. Carol Hutchins signaling to Nikki Wald to get a good secondary lead here. Zalewski's first pitch is low. Besson makes a good play on it to keep it in front of her.
First base open. The power-hitting Alexander on deck. Monty, adept at drawing walks, has shown the power stroke too as of late.
Something that Michigan has, that Michigan State does not, is a good bottom third of the order. Montemurano, a big cut there, comes up empty.
Monty has been known to have that proverbial clutch gene throughout her career, and no change in that this season. She's hitting .415 with runners in scoring position, .378 with 2 outs. That's all in play right here, right now.
One of the few Wolverines who have taken advantage of these 2-out opportunities, but again, that changeup that Zalewski goes to, and again it fools a Michigan hitter. This time Montemurano, another swing and a miss.
That changeup's effective as a change of pace, but that was a fat pitch. Zalewski missed her spot that was up in the zone. Monty wants that one back for sure.
Instead, she's down to the count 1-2 with 2 outs and a runner on second. Zalewski winds, delivers a pitch. That's fouled off.
Back with the gas. We've seen it from Zalewski. The third or fourth pitch. She'll use that off speed and then the gas in tandem, pitch by pitch, to mix and match and blow away these Michigan hitters. But I think as we go through the lineup the third time, Michigan's going to have that timed up a bit better.
So another 1-2 offering from the junior. Another ball low, 2-2.
Monty already struck out swing her first at-bat. She's seen plenty of pitches from the righty Zalewski.
Something that has been so enjoyable to watch over the past 4 years is the patience of Lindsay Montemurano, and it's showing here. 2-2. Fouled away, and that's what Lindsay Montemurano does so well. Fouls off pitcher pitches, waits to get a hitter's pitch.
She's working the at-bat, making Zalewski exhaust her arsenal pitch by pitch, showing a little bit more to the Michigan bench as well, although they've seen plenty of her so far today.
Montemurano resets. Here's the delivery from Zalewski. It is just a touch low. Some boos from the Spartans, cheers from the Wolverines. You can tell this is a rivalry matchup here at Alumni Field. Montemurano has worked the count full.
Good eye.
Not much more needs to be said.
A good frame, too, from Besson, the catcher.
3-2. Montemurano grounds one to long. It'll get into center field. That's a base hit. Here comes Wald. She will score. Throw comes into second base. We're all tied up here at Alumni Field.
Montemurano worked. She hacked. She fouled off pitch after pitch. And she came through when she needed to. The Wolverines back in this one, tied up at 4. Montemurano does it again. You kind of knew it was coming. She set the expectations there with all the work she's done in big moments throughout her entire career, and that at bat, no different than what we've seen out of her over the past 4 years.
Something that Montemurano also does really well is fire up the crowd. She does it there. trying to get the crowd into this one after an RBI single to tie up the game 2-2. And Zalewski still has Alexander to deal with. Ball outside. And that is some senior leadership. We've seen it on the defensive end. Now we've seen it offensively from Montemurano. She's not ready to be done at Alumni Field yet.
Now we'll see if this power bat of Alexander smells blood in the water against her old teammate.
Instead, she'll show bunt, and it's a called strike. A very awkward looking sequence there. Alexander, once she realized she didn't want to bunt, hopped out of the way of the pitch as she was coming towards the plate. Did not look comfortable at all with whatever that was, the 1-1. A half swing there, doesn't look comfortable there at all. It's 1-2.
Yeah, I think that 1-0 pitch was a called take from Coach Carol Hutchins. Maybe the bunt to see how Michigan State's defense would adapt in this sort of situation. But it seems to have backfired thus far. We'll see if Alexander can work like Monty did down in the count.
Alexander has been known to fight back in the counts. Stays alive for at least one more pitch. 2-2 after that one scoots low.
Zalewski facing the first real adversity that she has faced in this game today. We're back tied in the bottom of the fourth, 2-2. We'll see if Alexander can continue to capitalize.
Montemurano at first base. Alexander with a 2-2 count to play with here. And there's strike three. Alexander down looking. That'll end the inning. But Michigan gets this one all tied up. A sacrifice fly from Uden. An RBI single from the senior Montemurano. And we head to the fifth. Knotted at 2.
So the power bats haven't been here today so far for the Wolverines. Canfield's single one hop off the wall is the closest we've seen to a home run. But you like that this offense was able to manufacture runs even when they weren't getting the best of swings.
So now for Michigan State, it'll be Besson, Baquet, and Forster, the 8-9-1 in the order, leading things off here in the top of the fifth. That's her line thus far on the game. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs. Both of those coming back in the top of the third to go along with 2 walks and only 4 strikeouts through 4 innings. Well off of her normal pace. And I believe we're going to have some defensive changes here as Richardson will enter the game for the Wolverines in left field. Natalie Peters will slide to right, and Aiden Falk, I believe, has exited.
Yeah, we before the game, I think we all saw this coming. I imagine that Falk will take the designated player role, and Richardson will come into this game in the place of Madison Uden. But it remains to be seen as of now. We'll update you more on the lineup as things progress. But yeah, you definitely prefer the Peters, Richardson, Christner trio defensively, and it looks like this game could be decided
Besson, one of the few juniors in this lineup from San Rafael, California. A lot of California kids in this matchup, despite both teams being from Michigan. Betts ahead of the count, 1-2. That a close pitch. The dugout wanted it, but instead it will result in a few claps from Jackie Joseph over at third and a 2-2 count. Besson will live to see another pitch.
And each pitch just assumes more and more gravity as we get later on. It gets more and more meaning. And a ball on 2-2 rings the count full on Besson, and this is not a hitter that you want to put on base in this situation if you're Megan Betza.
Especially given that she's hitting under 200 this year. Here's the 3-2. It's grounded foul. Nice glove play from Montemurano, though.
Yeah, Monty, no shortage of glove flair down at third base. She's kind of a magician.
Another 3-2. Besson lifts one into center field. It's going to be a tough play. It's in the Bermuda Triangle between Canfield, Peters, and Christner. So the bottom of the order has gotten it done so far for Michigan State, and that looks to continue here in the fifth.
Yeah, not the best of swings there from Besson. It was a pitch that tied her up and in, but just able to muscle that one out into shallow right center field. And it ain't pretty, but Michigan State's going to take it, and they've got things going here, trying to respond in the top of the fifth.
And one thing, as we see a pinch runner, it'll be Summer Callahan for Michigan State, the freshman from New Boston, Michigan. One of the things is, because it's the bottom of the order, because you have your best hitter on deck, if you're Melanie Biquet, you can bunt Callahan over to second base and put a runner in scoring position with only one out.
I absolutely think that's what we're going to see.
We'll see here as Biquet takes the box, doesn't show bunt, instead grounds it to Montemurano. She'll field it over to Canfield, gets the lead runner. A good play, Lindsay Montemurano. How many times have we said that today?
Oh, she's been outstanding on both ends of the ball. And I was going to say something if Biquet gave me more than one pitch, but I was going to mention how confident Monty is at going to the lead runner. We've seen her make mistakes being aggressive with her decision-making on defense in the past, but more often than not, it pays off. She's got great instincts and a great arm, and she showcased both right there.
That's now play number 3, or batted ball number 3, where it is really danced with that foul line over at third as the first pitch to Forster drops low. So a Callahan for Biquet trade, and the Wolverines getting out here. So one out. Forster, 1-for-1 today, has reached base twice. And we'll have a 2-0 count to do so. RBI double in the third, walked in the first. Betza has not been able to figure out the Forster puzzle so far today.
Yeah, I mean, I think Betz is a competitive person and will want to really go at Forster, but you don't want to lose the Forster for the trees. There are hitters in the rest of the lineup that'll be less formidable.
Forster shoots one into right field. That's a base hit. So again, Forster reaches, and again, the Spartans are in business. 2 on, 1 out, and that'll bring up Mackenzie Long.
It's a good piece of hitting there from Leah Forster. Pitch down in the zone, but when you're ahead in the count and you catch that off-speed pitch right, you can drive the ball. And Forster's been seeing the ball as well as anyone in this ballpark today.
So some go green, go white chants from the Michigan State fans.
I think it's incredibly classy that Michigan fans did not drown it out with a can't read, can't write. I don't appreciate that kind of sniping, but I think if they did that at maybe Yost Ice Arena, that would be the response.
plenty of meetings in the circle. It was initially the infield and Megan Betza. Now it's Jennifer Brundage and the battery. In addition, Jackie Joseph is huddled up with what seems like her entire lineup.
Obviously, we don't have much insight into what goes on in those circle conversations, but Betza disclosed that usually when it's Brundage out there in the circle, it's something mechanical that they're looking to tweak. When Hutch comes out there and talks to Betza, then it's something mental that she's noticed. So, we've seen Betza undergo some various tweaks, whether it be due to small injuries, wear and tear, or just a bad start, but usually she's able to rebound and battle through whatever ails her.
Mackenzie Long hitting left-handed here, and that's a ball inside. McKay at second does not have any stolen bases this year. Forster 2 for 3, so not a great deal of speed, but a lot of intellect, especially from Forster, the junior, at first. The 1-0 too long from Betza is pop foul out of play.
Sometimes I like to imagine what softball would look like if those screens were in play and you could field foul balls as they trickled in off the screen.
Would that be like racquetball? No.
It would be racquetball-esque.
Racquetball-esque? Yeah. I'm not great with my whole sports. I usually stick to just, talking during them. As I'm doing now, 1-1. Up high on Long.
I'll tell you, broadcasting Michigan racquetball, I don't think we have a team, but that would be an experience and a half. We'll get to that later. We'll focus on the action at hand for now.
Long has a good opportunity here with a 2-1 count, but watches a changeup pass by. It's 2-2 on number 22.
With 2 on and a 2-2 ball game.
Deuce is wild. Always have to get that one in the broadcast. Here's the 2-2. A half swing to Canfield. Goes to Ramirez at second. Gets the out after on the transfer. Ramirez bobbles it, but important to get the second out of the inning for the Wolverines. Jackie Joseph isn't satisfied, though. She's going to go ask for an appeal here.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I think it was very obvious that Ramirez fielded that cleanly and was just transferring the ball to her throwing hand. And when she did that, she bobbled the ball ever so slightly. The umpires are always going to give the benefit of the doubt to infielders there, especially because they're moving their bodies out of the way of the sliding base runner, trying to avoid injuries. I think that's the right call all the way from Bobby DeMeo.
DeMeo will huddle up with his umpire counterparts and make a final decision here, and this could really sway the outcome of this inning. Carol Hutchins would love to be a part of this umpire meeting, but is going to be escorted out.
Got to respect DeMeo telling Hutch to pause there.
And the initial call is upheld. It's the second out of the inning. Runners on the corners, though, for Kelsey Carrasco, who, despite being 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts, a very good hitter, a very big spot for the freshman here.
But yeah, as I was saying, good command of the game there from DeMeo, the umpire. We can praise umps and detract from them.
Pitch number 1 is ball number 1 on Carrasco. Freshman from Wood Lake, California. Another California kid. Betza's delivery is a pop-up. Montemurano backs up on it, makes the grab, and that'll end the inning. The Spartans threaten, do not score, and Betza will head to the dugout via a standing ovation from the Michigan fans. We're through 4.5, 2-2, all tied up here at Alumni Field, and it's been a pretty good one. The second half of the game so far has been a lot more eventful than the first half. More hits, more strategy, more judgment calls, if you will.
Absolutely. It's been exciting defensively, too. We haven't seen any really crucial mistakes on either side. And I think the first one we do see is going to be the pivotal one in this game, if we see it. there for Montemurano. A third baseman is always more comfortable going in than ranging out. Usually on pop-ups behind third, you'll see the shortstop have a better play on it. Less so in softball where the field is a bit smaller and there's just less time to get to those pop-ups. And that was Monty's ball all the way, but I felt a little uneasy seeing her kind of freeze and then turn on that pop-up, but she is as sure-handed as they come, and she has been excellent at the hot corner today.
Sometimes the easier plays are actually harder to make just because you think more about it.
Especially in a high-octane, high-pressure environment that is Alumni Field today.
It's a sellout. A lot of good softball has been observed over the past day and a half. After this one, it'll be Wisconsin and Ohio State. A lot of red and a lot of white, something you usually don't see at a Michigan sport venue, but that will happen 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game, and that will actually, the winner of that game will play the winner of this game, as we have a new pitcher in there for the Spartans. It's number 32, Bridget Rainey, and she is the lefty and will face three lefties in Peters, Christner, and Ramirez. Two of those three slap hitters, so a big spot here, probably a big strategy play from Jackie Joseph. First pitch from Rainey after a enthusiastic delivery, a lot of moving parts, I would say, and then it's fouled off by Peters. So final line on Zalewski, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts.
Rainey, the lefty, having a bit of an off year, probably expected to come forward as Michigan State's ace.
Ball high.
But yeah, she has taken a step back. Still a rather experienced member of this staff, the junior Rainey, but has struggled especially with the bases on balls. She's walked 90 hitters this year in just 123 innings pitched.
The 1-2 is fouled away. Rainey, 14-8, 3.96 ERA coming into this one. 123 innings pitched, which leads the team. And as Morris mentioned, 124 strikeouts to 90 walks, excuse me. So a lot of strikeouts, but the control sometimes can be an issue. Watch out for that here. 1-2, check swing, and Peters lucky to stay alive at that one. The rise ball ended up at her chin, but able to make enough contact to keep the at-bat going.
Yeah, I don't know how she got contact with that one. Peters certainly expanding the zone here with 2 strikes, so maybe you want her to expand it slightly less than above her head.
Peters, a tough hitter to strike out. The 1-2, and she does just that. It's the first strikeout of the day for Bridget Rainey. It was a low changeup, and nothing Peters could do with that one, but it will send it to the top of the order in Kelly Christner.
While Rainey might not be as effective of a pitcher as Christina Zalewski in a vacuum, I do love the timing of changing it up before Zalewski had to face the Wolverines a third time through when it seemed like they were timing her up well.
Christner takes a called strike, 0 for 2 today. Ground out to the second baseman and a long pop fly in foul territory to the right fielder. And interestingly enough, Lexi White, the right fielder, is playing on the warning track as Rainey pulls a string, and it's 0-2.
Sort of a no doubles look, maybe looking to rob a shallow home run.
I have never seen an outfielder play that deep to start an at-bat.
They're respecting the power, and judging by where Christner's head was flying during those first 2 swings, or those first 2 pitches on that last swing, I think she was trying to pelt it over White. Might be a shrewd strategy from Jackie Joseph.
Christner is a senior, though. A lot of plate appearances in her career, and she does have the skill and the awareness to drop it into right field for a single. Instead, shoots it to left field. That'll get down. A base hit past a diving Ebony Eccles. Christner looking for 3, but will wisely stay at second base. A 1-out double for the senior leadoff hitter, Kelly Christner.
Wicked tail on that line drive to the opposite field. Eccles never really had a chance at it, unwisely dove. I think Christner was getting to whether or not she dove or played it safe off the wall, but the Wolverines will take it either way.
And Christner says, or looks at that Michigan State defensive alignment and says, I'll just shoot it to left field. You can't get it there, no matter how deep you're playing, but it was a good at-bat from Christner. It was an 0-2 pitch as well. So Abby Ramirez, an opportunity here to knock Christner home. 1 for 2 today, as Mackenzie Long and Ebony Eccles, the shortstop and left fielders, will talk a little bit of strategy on how to attack the slap-hitting Ramirez. Evelyn way in at third base. Long inside the baseline at shortstop. Ramirez shows bunt, but it's a called strike.
I think that was a foul tip into the glove of the catcher best, and she barely caught it with the bat as she pulled back. It was high, and I'm surprised that she ended up getting a piece of that one. And it turns out it's a ball, and the scoreboard was just lying to us.
That's not a ball. That's a foul off the mask of Lindsey Besson.
I was just trying to explain, the phenomenon that was an 0-1 count on the scoreboard, and I did think I heard a couple of sounds and not just the pop of the catcher's mitt. But as it stands, 1 on, 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on to number 1 Abby Ramirez.
Funny how these situations just come at you.
I feel like I've got an eye for them. As a commentator, you got to be looking for it.
Leah Forster in center field playing in. Same can be said with Ebony Eccles. The 1-1 is low. Christner at second base. 2-2 in the bottom of the 5th. Big spot here for the Wolverines. Rainey winds a ferocious delivery, and it's outside. 3-1 on another senior who has been a 4-year starter here. Plenty of experience. And knows these situations.
And I like the patience that she's shown in this at-bat. Rainey coming off of giving up a hit, not a very accurate pitcher to begin with. First base open.
The 3-1, and it's an off-speed pitch for a called strike. Ramirez not looking for that one.
Another good frame job there from Lindsey Besson, the catcher, to pull that one in on the outside corner at the knees. The outfield unorthodox. Forster very emphatic with her shift.
The 3-2 pitch off the glove of Evelyn. It'll scoot into center field. Everyone moves up 60 feet. And once again, Abby Ramirez aboard any way she can do it. I would assume they give her a hit. It was a hot shot in the direction of the hot corner. Evelyn unable to grab it. Long was converging on the ball as well. The result, it's in the center field grass.
And that's that's why I wasn't a huge fan of the aggressive defensive positioning against Abby Ramirez, because she's got power slap capability. She's not going to be driving it to the gap every other at-bat, but you're certainly taking a risk going up against a lefty with the kind of experience and the skills that she's developed over her tenure here at Michigan.
Faith Canfield has already singled and scored. She has runners on the corners with 1 out here. Shows bunt, attempts the bunt. Ramirez will take second base on the stolen base, so I would assume mission accomplished here.
Yeah, just protecting the runner. Michigan maybe going with the delayed steal that I don't think I've ever seen them not attempt that runners on first and third in this situation.
That is a patented move by Carol Hutchins. So Canfield down a strike here, 0-1 with 1 out, 2 in scoring position, and that's a base hit into left field. Here comes Christner. Ramirez will score. It's 4-2 Michigan. Faith Canfield, 2 RBI single.
And it looks like the decision to bring in Bridget Rainey for Christina Zalewski has backfired. Faith Canfield, great power to the opposite field, but she pulls the ball as well as any Michigan hitter that I've seen that pitch not necessarily on the inside corner. She chased it down in the zone, but got great contact on that off-speed pitch and looped it where there's no chance for the defense to make a play.
And instead of Aiden Falk, as she has departed, it will be Courtney Richardson, the sophomore outfielder, and she comes up swinging, but Rainey predicted that, went with the off-speed pitch, and Richardson was quite fooled.
Richardson has had a roller coaster season, the hottest start to the season of any Wolverines hitter, cooled down immensely, and then lately has been back on the train.
The 0-1 upstairs, she takes it high.
Rainey pouring on the gas there. Wouldn't be surprised to see Canfield try to swipe the bag.
Canfield does have 10 stolen bases on the year. And you're absolutely right. Rainey has come into this one and has not got the job done. Check swing, fouled away. 1-2. Rainey started the inning off with a strikeout of Peters, but since double, single, and single, and with Christner and Ramirez earning 2 of those 3 base hits, a lot of speed, that's what allowed 2 to score on the Faith Canfield base knock. The 1-2 outside, but it's a called strike 3. Very delayed today.
Yeah, it was a check swing from Richardson, and I think the home plate umpire, Cody Little, might have been contemplating whether or not he was going to say she went, but in the end decided it was over the plate anyway.
So 2 outs for Blanco. 0 for 1 today, walked. Really just not making it easy on me today. Cody Little is not. There's a called strike.
Good off-speed pitch to Blanco, who hasn't really gotten the chance to uncork on anything today. 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out that moved 2 runners up, both of whom came around to score.
So Canfield still at first. Blanco will take one upstairs. Rainey reminding her outfielders there are 2 outs. All 3 outfielders playing very deep once again. Forster, of course, a little shallower in center, given her confidence in the outfield. Blanco works the count to 2-1.
Good eye. Rainey tried to backdoor her with the curveball, but it just started out and stayed that way.
Blanco readies in the batter's box and again takes a pitch upstairs. A very good eye Blanco has at the plate. 30 walks on the year, leads the team. She's also been hit 14 times, which has allowed her on-base percentage to be at .460 coming into this one. The 3-1, rifled past Caitlin Evelyn. That's a fair ball, but Canfield will stop at second as Eccles got to it quickly in left field, but the inning will continue. It's an error, the first one of the day for either side, but in any sense, Blanco raises that on-base percentage once again.
Yep, first error for Evelyn, but the second miscue she's made in this inning. And, you know, we've seen Michigan State unravel a bit on the defensive end. We saw Eccles diving for a ball she didn't have a chance at. And Hutch was mad after that play. She was waving Canfield onto third base. It would have been an awkward play for Eccles to squeeze in toward the wall, pick it up, and then fire to third. I think Hutch thinks Canfield should be at third right now.
Runners on first and second. Madison Uden will patiently take a first pitch ball. You hate to make the last out of an inning, though, at third base, which, although going against what her head coach told her, Faith Canfield probably made the right play. There's a called strike, 1-1 on Uden.
For sure.
0 for 1 today, sacrifice fly, last inning.
Yeah, I don't necessarily hate the decision, but with Canfield on third, that just opens it up for Hutch to utilize the base running, get Blanco down to second.
Uden takes an off-speed pitch low. Worked herself a good hitter's count here.
There's just less to toy with as a coach when the base paths are congested.
Infielders creeping in on the pitch. Uden falls it straight back. Carol Hutchins giving a few claps of encouragement to her freshman, Madison Uden, who has come up big in a few spots this year.
She's got a sweet swing. You can really see the makings of a very fine softball player.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Uden down on strikes. But Michigan gets two more. They're on top 4-2. We're through 5 innings. This is WCVN Sports' presentation of Michigan softball. We head to the 6th. Right after this, and Morris, we talked about Madison Uden, who's come up clutch. Courtney Richardson has been clutch here and there. But today, it's the seniors. Montemurano with the big RBI hit. Kelly Christner leads things off here with a double. And Abby Ramirez able to shoot one past Evelyn at third base. The senior leadership of this one, and not to mention what Megan Betts has done on the circle, it can't be overstated.
Yeah, and then you see Sierra Romero, the 2-run single down the line to give the team the lead. I mean, I guess that's Faith Canfield out there, but given how she's performed in the second half of the season, it's hard to tell the difference at times. And yeah, Betts seems to have collected herself after a rough third inning. And now she's got the lead for the first time in the game out there in the circle. Michigan State now has their backs up against the wall.
And not a really great spot for the Spartans, as Betsa was able to get out of a little bit of a jam last inning with the top of their lineup. If they want to get this one done, it'll be up to the middle and bottom of the order, and that'll start with Caitlin Evelyn, who had a few misplays in the bottom of the 5th, so maybe a little redemption coming for her, and then Ebony Eccles and Sarah Gutnick.
Yeah, if you incorporate that foul ball that Evelyn ended up fumbling and was absolved of, but if you incorporate that into the game, Evelyn's had a really awful day of it. The Ramirez ground ball that bounced off her, the Ramirez grounder that almost probably should have been an infield hit, and then the error to keep that last inning going. She's 0 for 2 at the plate. Look at her counterpart, Lindsay Montemurano. She's been slick with the glove. She's got the game-tying base hit for the Wolverines, and it's a tale of 2 hot corner players that is kind of been the story in this one.
You mentioned Evelyn 0 for 2 today. Struck out looking in the first, ground out to Montemurano. In the third, big cut, and Betsa knew it was coming, went with the changeup, and that has been a really good pitch for Megan Betsa all day long. She's been able to go to that, locate it in the strike zone, out of the strike zone, wherever she wants to put it, and that has kept the Spartans off balance all day. The 0-1, a rise ball. This one will stay in the infield. Pop fly. Canfield battles the sun and will make the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Caitlin Evelyn having a rough go of it. There will be brighter days in the future for the Michigan State sophomore, but, you know, sometimes you just have one of those days.
One thing that's interesting, Mo, is Betsa only has 4 strikeouts today. She came into this one 12 of her last 18 starts, as Eccles shows bunt, and it is launched into foul territory. 12 of her last 18 starts have resulted in double-digit strikeout performances, and unless this one goes to extras, she will not hit that double-digit plateau. But a lot of weak contact off the senior from McDonough, Georgia today. Eccles takes strike 2. It's 0-2. A lot of pop-ups, ground balls to Montemurano, a few to Blanco in the right side of the infield. And that's something that has to be encouraging if you're Carol Hutchins, that she can work through games where she doesn't have her strikeout stuff, but she gets one there. Eccles is fooled on the changeup. That's the 5th strikeout of the day for Betsa, 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, it was textbook from Betsa. 1, 2, 3, 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Eccles back to the dugout.
She probably heard me.
On the day. Yeah, definitely. Your voice kind of projects from this press box vantage point.
It really does, especially over a sold-out crowd. First pitch to Gutnick is low.
But yeah, I think the pitch economy from Betsa, in addition to allowing her to go deeper into this game, it's going to be to the advantage of the Wolverines as we head through this Big Ten tournament. Just a little more use they'll be able to get out of her.
Betts has only needed 80 pitches so far today for 5 2/3 innings. Only allowed 4 hits as well. Gutnick fouls one into the netting.
To be fair, that ratio is sort of standard for most pitchers, but it's not what we usually see out of Betsa when she's racking up those double-digit strikeout games.
Betsa resets in the circle. It's a 1-1 to Sarah Gutnick. Right at the lower part of the knees, I'll say.
It really has been only Gutnick for whom we've seen some objectionable strike calls from Cody Little. Well, maybe the most objectionable for Michigan fans.
2-1 is a definite ball at the ankles. 3-1 on the senior Gutnick. 0 for 1 today, a walk in the second.
We've seen some hard contact from the Spartans today. If Gutnick gets on, that's the tying run at home plate.
The 3-1. Inside, Gutnick draws a 2-out walk as Betsa peeks in to the Michigan dugout, which is sandwiched by 52 years of coaching experience. You think of 33 years as the head coach of Michigan and Carol Hutchins. Bonnie Thole on the other side of the dugout, 19 years on this Michigan coaching staff. 2 Michigan softball greats in terms of what they've been able to do for this program. Lexi White is the last hope for the Spartans here in the 6th. She takes a big cut, 0-1.
Power throughout this Michigan State lineup. Lexi White swinging for the fences on that first pitch. And we've seen it time and time again this game. Betsa responding to a power threat by just burying a changeup in the dirt.
She started Eccles out with that. And Lexi White will lift one into left field. Richardson, the defensive replacement, does her job and gets the Wolverines out of the inning. It was a 2-out walk that was stranded at first base. We're through 5.5. Michigan coming to bat in the bottom of the 6th. 4-2 Wolverines on top of Sparty.
Yeah, the triple Bs, Betsa, Blanco, and in the end Brundage really know how to work.
You worked the third one in there.
I had to. You know, BBB has been the talk of the sports world lately. We're not going to get further into that to maybe put off a rage-induced aneurysm. But, yeah, they know how to work hitters. They know how to play on the psychology of hitters like Lexi White, who is up there with one intent, and that is to tie the game with one swing of the bat. You bury one in the dirt, looks like it's coming at the knees, swing and a miss. You send her eyes ball up and out of the zone. She has to chase it, sort of tomahawk at it, and that resulted in, not square contact, a pop-up into shallow left. Easy money for the Wolverines, who are 1 inning away from advancing in a game where they haven't looked too sharp, but they've scratched and clawed their way into a relatively comfortable position.
And stop me if you've heard this before, but this is one of those games where it seems like Betsa doesn't have her best stuff, but you look at the scoreboard and Michigan is getting it done. And aside from a kind of a rocky third inning in which you had to face Forster, which arguably I would say is the best hitter in Michigan State's lineup, Betsa's been very good. Only striking out 5, giving up the 2 runs, but doing just enough.
Yeah, I think Michigan State didn't do themselves any favors in the, I think it was the top of the 4th where they sent 3 batters to the plate, hit 3 ground outs in the span of about 5 pitches. That'll be pretty therapeutic for any hurler.
Bridget Rainey back to work in the circle. She'll face the bottom third of the order, Montemurano, Alexander Peters. And it was Lindsay Montemurano who had that big hit in the 4th inning to tie things up, an inning that Michigan really needed offensively. And Rainey will roll one for ball 1.
I think the Wolverines could really use maybe just one more insurance run with the top of that lineup and Forster lurking. down the road in this next inning.
A lot of home run potential as Montemurano takes a big hack in Leah Forster. She has 14 of them on the year, and even in the heart of the order, 9 apiece from Carrasco and Evelyn. So all Michigan State has to do is get just one run or one runner aboard, and then the complexion of a game can change. Montemurano will take a ball just below the letters, and it's 2-1 on the senior third baseman.
Monty characterizes herself as indecisive, and that's what leads to the patient approach at the plate. But whatever it does, whatever causes it, it works as she takes another one to bring it to 3-1.
Really has been a fun hitter to watch because she has enough pop to always be a home run threat, but can give you a clutch single or a good at bat, even if it doesn't result in getting on base, giving, as that one's a called strike, giving the rest of her teammates 5, 6, 7 pitches to just look to see what the pitcher is throwing.
And, even if she were totally trash at the plate and in the field, she's got a great personality that would be an asset to any team she's on.
Full count, ground ball. Evelyn able to grab this one and make a good throw to retire Montemurano.
Good work there from Rainey, coming back with a couple of off-speed pitches down in the count 3-1. Didn't allow Monty to get that pitch in her happy zone, and ended up getting the first out of the inning instead of putting the leadoff hitter aboard with a walk. And now it looks like a favorite of yours, Kev, is going to come in and pinch hit.
Panda time.
Hashtag Team Vargas.
I have been on Team Vargas for quite some time, especially on our podcast, which you should all check out. East of the Rockies, available on iTunes and SoundCloud. Amanda Vargas will pinch hit for Katie Alexander. Vargas on the year has been a very effective pinch hitter. She'll take a called strike. 277 on the year, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. There was a time when she owned that designated player spot. Her bat cooled off a bit, and at the same time, Uden's heated up. And the 0-1 is swung on and missed, 0-2. And it really was a very logical move for Carol Hutchins. That designated player spot all year has been whoever's got the hot bat. It was Vargas, it was Richardson, it was even Subcheck and Alexander at a time. Swing and a miss, and Vargas will not spend a lot of time in the batter's box. 3 pitches, and that'll result in a strikeout for Rainey, who has given up the 2 runs, but has struck out 4 Wolverines. 7 Michigan hitters have gone down on strikes today.
Rainey's throwing a lot of junk out there. She's stuck with the off-speed pitches, and they've kept the Wolverines off balance, whether they be a drop ball or a slow curve, things of that nature. Michigan hasn't been able to square it up aside from, when she first entered the game.
Peters will take a ball. 0 for 2 today. Strikeout popped out to Evelyn at third base as well. Rainey rocks back, delivers the changeup that will drop low. 2-0 on the number 9 hitter, Natalie Peters.
The wind still whipping strong here at Alumni. It was once blowing straight in from center, now blowing more from left to right across the diamond.
Eccles in left field, creeping in, with the slap hitter Peters as she works a 3-0 count here. Good hitters count. I would imagine she doesn't get the green light, though, from Carol Hutchins, given that she is a slap hitter, given that Kelly Christner and the rest of the Wolverines are on deck. Called strike.
Yeah, Peters not her best game at the plate so far, but I'm sure Michigan State wants to prevent the likes of Kelly Christner, Abby Ramirez, and Faith Canfield from getting in there at all costs. Top of the lineup for the Wolverines, a combined 5 of 9 today.
Peters takes another strike. She'll have to lift the bat off her shoulder here. It's 3-2.
Rainey again back with the off-speed stuff. Don't know if there's much to it, but I think those pitches look deceptively slow from up here. When you're in the batter's box, you just have so little time to react.
Great spin on Rainey's ball. A payoff to Peters. Ground ball right to Gutnick, doesn't even have to move. That'll do it for the Wolverines in the 6th. Last call for the Spartans coming up. It's 4-2 Michigan, and Megan Betza will trot out to the circle for the 7th time today. Looking to close this one out. Michigan awaits, or Michigan State, I should say, awaits the winner of Wisconsin and Ohio State. That one will get underway a half hour after the conclusion of this one. And I think if you look at those two teams, Mo, Michigan, of course, has won both of those series but dropped a game to both teams. So not sure who Carol Hutchins would rather face, but I think if you ask her right now, she's more worried about the 3 Spartans due up in Besson, Bakay, and Forster. And I think for Megan Betza, the key this inning is probably going to be to take care of those bottom 2 hitters, so when Forster comes to play, the tying run is not on Forster.
Yeah, it rarely seems that easy to just go 1, 2, 3 in the 7th inning in a 2-run game. I bet we'll see a walk here or there. I think Michigan State's hitters are going to be pretty patient to start things off. But yeah, we'll be able to discuss Ohio State and beyond more on our podcast, which we are recording tomorrow morning. We'll release it tomorrow morning. East of the Rockies, you can find it on SoundCloud or on iTunes. We'll be talking today and hopefully beyond. But you know what they say about counting chickens and all those sorts of things. Michigan's got 3 more outs to record. It's been a while since the Michigan State Spartans have beaten the Michigan Wolverines in a softball game. It's been tight at times, tighter this year than in most other recent years. But it's been a long time for head coach Jackie Joseph. You got to imagine her and her players are hungry for an opportunity here today.
Betza and Blanco smiling in the circle here, chatting it up as, not sure what the delay is. I would assume
advertising, Kev.
Someone's got to make money.
Not us. Not us.
Strictly here for the softball. We are underway in the 7th, and first pitch hits Besson, the catcher, who coming into this one was hitting 183. Not the start you want if you're Megan Betza.
It's never easy, Kev. It was never going to be easy.
First hit batter of the day for Betza, but Bakay will be the tying run, and I believe we'll see, like you were about to say, a pinch runner. That's number 12, Kelly Zackerson, sophomore from Hudsonville, Michigan.
Bakay has had some success at the plate today. Grounded into a 5-4 force out to Montemurano in her last plate appearance. She hit that ball pretty hard. A line drive single in her first at-bat down the left field line.
Bakay way back in the batter's box. First pitch into left field. It'll drop for a base hit right in front of Courtney Richardson. First 2 Spartans are aboard here in the 7th.
It's never going to be easy, Kev. Leah Forster now represents the go-ahead run for the Michigan State Spartans. Stepping into that lefty batter's box. She's 2 for 2 today.
Has reached base all 3 times, an RBI double, scored a run, and we'll have a conversation in the circle with Carol Hutchins. And here come the go green, or go green, go white. I can't even do the chant. But here come the chants once again.
Almost triggers the gag reflex. But yeah, definitely a sort of mental kick in the rear to be delivered here by Carol Hutchins, trying to nip this rally in the bud before it begins. Betza has the stuff to face the Spartans lineup. After Forster, the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 hitters in this Michigan State lineup all hitless today, along with the 7 and 8. The damage has largely been done by Bakay and Forster today. They've got 4 out of Michigan State's 5 hits.
Very interesting. Usually Megan Betza dominates the weaker hitters in a lineup. Not today, though, like you mentioned, Mo. So here comes Forster.
Not particularly strikeout prone. Plenty of power. It's for average, too. First team all Big Ten center fielder.
The first pitch to Forster, a called strike, and that's how you want to start off an at-bat, especially after a meeting with your head coach.
Doesn't get much better than this. You come to the Big Ten tournament to see the conference's best, and they're doing battle right now.
This is the 2-7 matchup in the conference tournament. Forster takes the 0-1 low.
The sun going to present ever more of an obstacle for the right fielder. In this case, it would be Natalie Peters.
Outfielders playing Forster straight up. The 1-1 to the talented junior. Swing and a miss. Betza blew it right past her. Betza gave Forster her best and got the best of Forster, at least for that pitch. It's 1-2 now on the junior outfielder.
It was a big hack. Forster disgusted with herself even mid-swing there.
The 1-2 from Betza. Popped up, out of play, left side. You can tell the tension is rising here at Alumni Field. Nobody out. The tying run is standing at first base for the Spartans. Top of the seventh here, 4-2, Wolverines on top. The 1-2 once again. Low, good block from Alexander to keep the runners put.
Looked like she was struggling to find it for a sec as it got caught under her right shin pad. Fortunately, she had the wherewithal to pounce on that one and hold the runners at first and second. The infield back and the outfield off the lines for the Wolverines against Michigan State's best player.
Betza again readies, this time with the 2-2. Wines, delivers outside, and that'll run the count full here. A good spot to be in if you're Leah Forster and the rest of the Michigan State Spartans.
The crowd maybe going to try to get behind Megan Betza. I'm a little surprised at how tepid they've been in this inning. Just scattered cries.
Forster readies at the plate. Betza's pitch, fouled away. We'll do it all over again. So it'll still be 3-2 on Forster.
Betza's got the full arsenal at her disposal. To me, it seems like Forster's been sitting on the off-speed stuff and it's just been fighting off the fastballs, the hard stuff. So if I were Betza, I'd maybe hesitate to go with the drop ball here.
The 3-2 once again. In the right field, that's a base hit. Peters fields, throws. One run will score. Forster will take second. She's pumped up. Michigan State is fired up. It's 4-3. Michigan clinging on to a one-run lead. Still nobody out.
Fabulous at bat there from Leah Forster. Megan Betza went with the hard stuff. And you got to give Natalie Peters a ton of credit out in right field. A lunging play to keep that one from getting all the way to the wall. Might have even prevented that second run from scoring in Piquet. She had to stop at third base. Unfortunately, the throw to the cutoff a bit off target. Forster moved up to second. But I think she was going to be getting there in the end anyway. And now a big jam for Betza.
Mackenzie Long, 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice, sacrifice fly. And we'll take the first pitch outside. Tying run at third, go ahead run at second, nobody out. I would imagine here, ground ball in the infield, the play has to be to home.
Absolutely. And Coach Carol Hutchins has already used her mound visit during this circle visit during this inning. So the next time she goes out there, it's going to have to result in a pitching change. Tara Blanco obviously not warming up. She's at first base, but she'd have to be the move if Hutch pulls the plug. But
this has got to be Betza's game.
Absolutely.
1-0 is again low. Betza really just looks rattled out there. Has failed to find the zone, and when she has, it has been met with a Spartan bat.
First base is open. The middle of the order awaits for the Michigan State Spartans. 2-0 count, 2 on, nobody out.
Betza winds, delivers. There's a called strike to Mackenzie Long.
A devastating drop ball there from Megan Betza. You could just see that one snap down to the knees. Long had no chance at it.
Montemurano in at third. Same can be said for Blanco at first. Here's the 2-1 to Long. It's again outside, and there is a base open at first, but with Carrasco and Eveland on deck, or due up soon for the Spartans, not sure if Betza would want to attack them, especially with no outs. Long awaits the 3-1 pitch. Ground ball to Blanco. Runner at third holds. Long will dance, but instead will be tagged out. And it almost seemed like Long was backing up to home plate. Interesting play there.
Yeah, I mean, trying to stall things, maybe allow her runners to take advantage. But that's a good play by Tara Blanco, not turning her back to the base runner, making sure that the entire play was in front of her as she tagged for the out. And not a great swing on 3-1 there by Mackenzie Long.
A weak ground ball at Blanco really didn't have to move the field.
The Wolverines can't coordinate strategy from the circle. None of the coaches can, at least.
Jackie Joseph huddled up with Kelsey Carrasco as she will step up to bat. 0 for 3 today, 2 strikeouts, and popped out to Montemurano. And the Wolverines could use either of those outcomes here. 2 on, 1 out. Michigan up by a run, top of the 7th inning. Megan Betza trying to close it out to clinch a spot in the Big Ten softball semifinals. Carrasco is ready in the box. Betza ready in the circle. First pitch in the dirt.
Went with the off-speed stuff, the drop ball, the changeup, I guess. Trying to get Carrasco to chase. She's pulled the string on a lot of these Spartans hitters, but Carrasco patient, maybe learning something after her first 3 trips.
Betza hammers that inner third, but doesn't get the call. I'm not sure where that was.
Up and inside, maybe.
It's the 7th inning. I don't know where that was.
It was a good pitch from Megan Betza, and sometimes those 50-50s or 70-30s in that case don't go in your favor.
90-10s. So it's a 2-0 count in the favor of Kelsey Carrasco. The 2-0 is right in the same place that the 1-0 was, and it's the same result. It's ball 3. Caitlin Eveland on deck. Still first base is open with Forster at second, Bakay at third.
What an opportunity for catharsis this would be for Caitlin Eveland.
3-0 to Carrasco. Swung on, popped up. It will drop. The tying run will score. A diving attempt from Abby Ramirez. Unable to come up with that one. It's an RBI single, and we're tied up at Alumni Field.
That would have been a fantastic play. Abby Ramirez ranging out into shallow left. She's got speed. She got a great break on the ball. Slid, but in the end, it was a little too awkward. Bounced off her glove. Good play there from Richardson to clean up and back up on the play. But yeah, it was never going to be easy for this Wolverines. That's just not the way that this game has gone. A big hit for the freshman Carrasco. The Wolverines do have the top of their lineup due in the bottom of the 7th, but they've got some work to do just to get there. Evelyn 0 for 3 at the plate now. One error and another miscue in the field. It has not been her day, but one swing of the bat could change all of that.
Runners on the corners, one out. Tie game now, top of the 7th. First pitch is inside, and the crowd really is urging Cody Little for that pitch, but he's not giving it.
This inning has been like a pin in the balloon for the Wolverines faithful.
The 1-0 to Evelyn. Swing and a miss. Betza fooled her on that one. Megan Betza needing to stop the bleeding here with the go-ahead run at third base. Extra pressure on Katie Alexander to stop any changeup in the dirt. The 1-1 upstairs.
Betza tried to pump up the gas there. The high cheese, Evelyn didn't offer because it wasn't really over the plate. It was sailing outside as well.
Two 2-1 pitch to Evelyn. Swing and a miss. Again, Betza went with the changeup. Again, Evelyn unable to put the barrel on the ball. It's 2-2 on the sophomore Evelyn. A difficult hitter in Ebony Eccles on deck. Some cheers from the crowd for Evelyn. It's a 2-2. It's into left field. That'll push the go-ahead run across. Michigan State has scored 3 runs in the 7th inning, and it's 5-4 Spartans.
That's a missed spot there from Megan Betza. She utilized that drop ball a couple times in the at-bat, pulled the string on Evelyn, but that one she missed up, out, and over the plate. And Caitlin Evelyn made no mistake, driving in the go-ahead run for the Michigan State Spartans. How quickly things have turned. It's been an up-and-down game for the Wolverines, and now their own backs against the wall here at their home field in Alumni.
It would definitely be a disappointing exit for Michigan. First time hosting the tournament since 05. Called strike to Eccles. 0 for 3 today.
First time that's been called a strikeout inning. Not bitter or anything.
Swing and a miss, and Eccles 0-2 now. 4 hits in this inning for the Spartans. And it all started with a hit by pitch. Spartans out hitting the Wolverines and outscoring the Wolverines as it stands now. Eccles fights one off.
Megan Betza has had some of the most dominant outings of her career against these Michigan State Spartans. Today, you have to flip the script. She's given up 8 hits thus far. She's walked a few, and she hasn't had the strikeout stuff today.
The 0-2. Eccles again stays alive. Pinch runner on second base for the Spartans is number 5, Valerie Caff, redshirt junior from Mesa, Arizona. Evelyn on first. Michigan State looking for more runs here in the 7th to continue the Spartan magic. They won't be there as Eccles down on strikes for the 3rd time today.
The golden sombrero, if you will. Oh, no, that's 4. She's just got a hat trick so far. It is. Ebony Eccles grounded out to first to hold off that golden sombrero. Either way, not her best day at the plate.
A very dangerous hitter still for Betza to get out of this jam. That's Sarah Gutnick, 0 for 1 today, 2 walks. First pitch is at the belt. That's ball 1.
Gutnick has been very patient at the plate. Somehow has had 2 walks despite having the biggest strike zone of anybody in the Spartans lineup.
Gutnick, big home run potential, 10 of them on the year. Drop ball is high again, 2-0.
The wind still coming in now from left center field. The temperature starting to drop here at Alumni, though the sun still beams as it drops behind a smattering of clouds.
Betsa's 2-0, not even close, 3-0.
Hasn't been hitting her spots all day. Even the put-away pitches, we've seen Michigan State able to foul them off and extend at-bats.
Really has been a frustrating inning for Megan Betsa and the Wolverines. A couple seeing eye singles, a couple at-bats where Betsa has not helped herself out as she does there. It's a 4-pitch walk, bases loaded.
And this will be the 9th hitter to come to the plate in this inning for the Spartans. Hutch shouting instructions at her catcher, Katie Alexander, who will then relay that to the rest of the team.
Base hit here from Lexi White will blow this one open. 2 runs would definitely score. 1 run you feel is doable. Anything more is a little sketchy. First pitch to Lexi White is not a strike. I just don't know where that is. Like, we obviously don't have the best vantage point.
Betsa hasn't gotten the calls today. Really not much has gone her way, aside from a pretty solid defensive performance from the Wolverines.
The 1-0 into left field. Richardson will back up 10 steps and make the grab, beating the sunlight. Michigan State gets 3 runs, and Michigan has some work to do in the last half inning of this one. 5-4 Spartans.
Well, it was never going to be easy, Kev. Michigan State, their second crooked number on the board, comes at the worst possible time for the Wolverines, who now only have 1 half inning to get things going against Bridget Rainey, who seemed to settle in after getting roughed up as she entered in the 5th. Went through the Wolverines easy in the 6th, and now in the 7th we'll be facing Christner, Ramirez, and Canfield. Courtney Richardson scheduled to hit 4th. You know, Carol Hutchins has pinch hitters at her disposal. Taylor Swearingen, a tendency toward the long ball. She's waiting on the bench. You might see her, maybe remove Richardson if she feels that matchup's a bit better. Maybe we'll see Aiden Falk re-enter the game. But what it comes down to, it's a hit or miss sort of game. Michigan's got to get runners on in order to score, in order to keep this game alive and keep their Big Ten Tourney hopes alive. It would certainly be a disappointing exit here in front of their home crowd.
Well, it will be the top of the order. Kelly Christner, Abby Ramirez, Faith Canfield, and they did the damage in the 5th. Double, single, single for those 3. And Michigan really trying to use that home field advantage. The alumni band playing fiercely in the right field bleachers. And the Wolverines are going to need it. Bottom of the 7th inning, they're down a run.
No matter how this goes, Kev, it's going to be a hell of a podcast tomorrow morning.
Might be a rough one.
If nothing else, hopefully it is a learning experience, and hopefully it'll be inconsequential if this Michigan offense can rally. They've scored in 2 out of their last 3 innings, 2 runs apiece in the 4th and 5th, scoreless in the 6th. The outfield way back for the Spartans here in the bottom of the 7th.
Christner will take the first pitch low. Rainey tried to start her off with a changeup. Instead, it will be low. Christner 1 for 3 today, double and a run.
That double, a looper that came off of Bridget Rainey back in the 5th.
Check swing, but it's a called strike on the inner 3rd.
Christner, the senior, is playing in front of a home crowd that will look to give her their best.
The 1-1, again low at the ankles of the senior from Tinley Park, Illinois.
I really haven't been that impressed with the environment here at Alumni. I mean, the team has given them something to cheer for, some things to stay silent about.
Here's the 2-1. Christner into right field. White comes on, makes the sliding grab. Christner looked to get a leadoff single, but Lexi White, a good play in right field. Nothing you can do about that one. One away.
White also had to fight off the sunlight. The lights are on here at Alumni Field, not needed yet. Just gearing up for that late game between Wisconsin and OSU.
And Ramirez will take the first pitch low, and it was actually interesting. Trotting in from the bullpen was Blanco. Not sure who the catcher was, but Blanco was warming up before a potential at-bat here in case this one goes to extras. Ramirez fouls one off. It's 1-1.
Rainey's thrown a lot of junk out there from the circle, but that time turned up the heat, got in on the hands of Ramirez. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out to number 1 Ramirez. One's across the board.
Rainey trying to close this one out. The 1-1 to Ramirez upstairs. Rainey came in after Christina Zalewski gave the Spartans 4 solid innings, 4 innings, 2 earned runs. Rainey had a rough 5th, giving up 2 runs, but is in line for the win here if she can shut the door on Ramirez and Canfield here in the bottom of the 7th. The 2-1, low. Good patience from the senior shortstop. Ramirez has a 3-1 count. You notice the defensive alignment not as aggressive as what we saw in the 5th, in which Ramirez shot a single off of Caitlin Evelyn at third base. Rainey readies with the 3-1. It is low. Tying run aboard for the Wolverines.
Aiden Falk into the on-deck circle. We will see her re-enter for Courtney Richardson if it gets to that. Faith Canfield in the box. Her last at-bat was a good one, a 2-run single to put the Wolverines ahead back in the bottom of the 5th. Is there any hitter you'd rather see up right now?
Arguably the hottest hitter in Michigan's lineup, hitting .396 after a 2-for-3 performance so far today, in addition to a run scored and 2 RBIs. The first-year starter has been terrific. Canfield takes the first pitch outside.
It's a good eye there. The season on the line really for the Spartans. Faith Canfield, we'll see if the sophomore, who has been asked to step into the shoes of Sierra Romero, at least positionally speaking, can continue the hot streak and rise to the occasion.
The 1-0, grounded, a slow chop. Rainey fields the throw, scooped up by Gutnick. What a play from the senior first baseman, the only senior in the lineup for the Spartans. Makes a fine defensive play. Ramirez moves up 60.
It's not a good swing by Faith Canfield. It was a hesitant half hack ahead in the count, 1-0. Just overthinking it in a position where really couldn't afford to.
Last chance here for the Wolverines. It will be Aiden Falk, 1 for 2 today, with a base hit, which eventually resulted in Michigan's second run after Wald scored. Aiden Falk with the tying run at second base. Forster shades to the pull field for the left-handed hitting Falk. First pitch, swing and a miss. Trying to be too aggressive there. Rainey knew it was coming, went with the drop.
Falk has been on the bench, sitting out as Richardson took her place in the field, took her place at the plate for 1 at-bat. Now being asked to come in cold and heat up this Wolverines lineup. The tying run on second base, 2 outs.
If Michigan fails to get that 5th run across, it will be the first loss of the season here at home for the Wolverines. First loss since March of 2016 here in the friendly confines of Alumni Field here at the Wilpon Complex in Ann Arbor.
And the first loss to Michigan State in years.
that might be the most troubling stat of them all. 0-1 to Falk. A pop-up to Evelyn, and that'll do it. Michigan State upsets the Michigan Wolverines 5-4. They will earn a spot in the Big Ten softball conference semifinals, and they're celebrating heavily.
Yeah, I mean, they're celebrating as though they've pulled off a monumental upset, the likes of which that program hasn't seen in years. They're celebrating their season continuing. They've got still a long road ahead of them if they want to to do some postseason damage. But on the other side of things, this Wolverines team needs to take a long look at itself in the mirror. They'll be traveling for the regional now, and they will have to shape up if they want to be traveling beyond that.
Michigan drops to 41-11-1. Michigan State improves to 31-21, and they will face the winner of Wisconsin and Ohio State. The Michigan State faithful singing their fight song in front of us right now, and you're absolutely right. For Michigan, they need to understand what happened because they're going to face much better competition than Michigan State in the regional. If they want to do anything in the postseason, they'll have to figure some things out, and today it might be the story of Megan Betza and what she was unable to do in the 7th inning. The team gave her a 2-run lead going into that final frame. Megan Betza lost all command, all control, and it resulted in a loss.
I'm dying here, Kev. They're doing go green, go white. The team ran to their fan base in front of us, right in front of us, celebrating as Michigan's out of the Big Ten.
I mean,
tournament.
I would say, act like you've been there before, but Michigan State, this is a big win for the softball program, a big upset, and the chance to advance in the tournament. This is a big win for the Spartan program and Jackie Joseph. Yep. That'll about do it for us here.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
At the Wilpon Complex. Once again, your final score, Michigan State 5, Michigan 4 in the Big Ten softball quarterfinals. For Morris Fabry, I'm Kevin Klein, leaving you with a good night and a Go Blue.